Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Boxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold it back with a pay-per-view.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I don't want to fight. But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
Boxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday. It's Crow Day. Not that we have a list. Super producer done fell off these days, but we're back. It's Sunday. We're here to at least take your calls if you want to gloat for those of you that picked Deontay Wilder, and for those that picked Bermane Stiverne, I guess you'll be, getting a good serving of Crow. We'll review the Deontay Wilder and Bermane Stiverne fight, as well as options, quotes that we might have heard, what's next for Wilder, and then we'll get into the co-main event. Shawn Porter, the now silver WBC champion, one step closer to a Keith Thurman rematch. He won a unanimous decision over Adrian Granados last night, and Jermell Charlo having some interesting things to say about a few people, and we'll give you all the details on that. But believe me, very interesting. Some of the things you thought he wouldn't say, he finally did. And speaking of finally doing, Canelo and Golovkin are in the news again, I think. I'm not even really sure what these guys are doing here. But I'm sure the hipster will tell you. So let's go out to him in the Golden State. My guy, your guy, the hipster hunter.
Dollar DiBiase production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
Boxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock, in what not. When the main thing is, I just hope the guy, I wish.
Boxingvoice.com.
Yes, the hipsters here. Haters beware. And Deontay Wilder usually gets a ton of hate. Can't get that much hate this time. I would say that going out in one round, putting Stiverne out cold in the first round in that fashion. I mean, I know there has been hate on Deontay Wilder. I've read the comment sections on some of our videos. I understand that there is some hate, but I don't understand it. I mean, if Stiverne is that bad, if Stiverne is that much of a bum in you haters' minds, then isn't that exactly what he's supposed to do? Treat a bum like that and put him out in one round? So just salute to Deontay Wilder, making a statement, definitely pushing and putting pressure on Anthony Joshua to get that mega fight rolling. And I can't wait to chop it up with the callers and you Ness to see really is that next. And plus, so many topics to get into. Jermell Charlo, Erislandy Lara, Shawn Porter, Adrian Granados, Triple G, Canelo, Triple G going to Dallas and looking at some potential locations for the rematch. Tons of news to get into, so can't wait.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a jam-packed show, so we'll have a lot to talk about. Remember, if you're watching this future, present, past, doesn't matter, hit that thumbs up button. Head on over to iTunes, drop us a 5-star review because this is a podcast. And remember, you can always add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. That's NESTORGIBBS to call us internationally from anywhere in the world, absolutely free via Skype. Be part of the show, but we must be on the friends list. So remember the number 1-425-569-5241. Matt, let's get right into it. I mean, Deontay made short work, so I think our recap of the fight should be short work. And we were kind of obsessed with this topic. Wilder, Joshua, Dylan White, Stiverne's out the way. And what he did do is solidify, I think, the forcing of Dylan White. I think that the Dylan White fight still will happen, but it's going to be because they made it financially lucrative for him. and not because they're forcing it. I think that the Dillian Whyte would have been a force had Wilder went 7, 8, maybe 12 rounds again because he didn't knock him out the first time. But blowing this guy out in like 20 seconds, Bermane threw maybe one punch the entire fight. It's kind of hard to say, oh, Deontay Wilder needs to fight X, Y, and Z before he gets to Joshua. But I will say in that same sentence, I still agree with Eddie Hearn and the rest of the world. The plan should be through Dillian Whyte to get to Joshua end of year, make it bigger. But I'm very impressed with Wilder. You and I seen him doing that move in sparring, and we laughed at each other like, yo, what is he doing? Like, is he fucking with his sparring partners? Never in my wildest dreams that I think he was going to do a juke move in an actual, championship fight. But he did. He thinks he's a football player or something, but it truly looks special to me. Some are saying, before I pass you the ball, I've seen the comments, and some are like, why is everyone happy? It's Bermane Stiverne. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He got knocked down in between that time. What are you guys excited about? He still hasn't fought anyone. This isn't a true top 10 heavyweight. Why are you guys clamoring about this American that is yet to fight anyone?
And my answer is simply be, if that is all true, then what would Wilder have to do to Stiverne to prove that he is on Joshua's level? Knock him out in the first round and make sure Stiverne doesn't land a single fucking punch. That's exactly what happened. Stiverne landed 0 punches, and got knocked down in the first round. To me, that's what an elite fighter does to a quote-unquote bum or B-level guy or whatever the haters want to say of Stiverne. Because people want to discredit the first fight, even though Stiverne at that time was definitely a top 10 heavyweight, without a doubt. And this is what he should do to Stiverne 2 years removed from it, only one fight since then. Yeah, I think this is exactly what Wilder needed to do to prove he was elite. So I don't understand the hate. I really don't get it.
But, I mean, it's Stiverne. Derek Rossi knocked him out in an off-air TV, off-TV fight. Knocked him down. He's a club fighter.
I wouldn't say that. What Derek Rossi?
Right. Well, Bermane Stiverne came in overweight and physically looking worse than the first fight, Matt.
Joshua came in the Takam fight heavier than usual.
He didn't look worse than usual.
There's definitely people that would say that he looked worse than usual. They did not look on his A game.
Well, you mean in terms of performance? I mean in terms of physique, because we're talking about Bermane's physique.
I'm just talking about physique. I'm not talking about physique. I'm talking about performance.
Yeah, well, obviously.
And I'll say this again. If Joshua was fighting Stiverne last night, I would have wanted him to put him out early. And I would not have thought he was going to put him out in one round. Same with Wilder. I didn't think he was going to do that to Stiverne, and he did that. I don't think anyone thought we were going to get that. And I want to throw everyone that's a Joshua protector that you like to say up here and ask them if, last night before the fight started, if Joshua was in there, do you think he would have knocked him out in that fashion in the first round and not get hit with any punches? Like, that's impressive. I'm sorry. Like, if you don't think that's impressive and you're out there listening to this and you're like, yeah, fuck Wilder, that wasn't impressive, it's Stiverne, then I don't know what you're watching. I legitimately don't understand what you were watching.
But Matt, there's people out there that saying he was still wild. Look at that right hand. It was so wild.
Yeah, you can say that. But that 1-2 that dropped him wasn't. He knew he had him hurt. And this has been Wilder's MO from the very beginning. When he has a guy hurt, he goes wild and throws the windmills, quote unquote. But then he still puts them out. No one's been able to make him pay for them. So far, you can say that, yes, he is hittable when he does that, but no one's been able to hit him.
Well, what is the future for Deontay Wilder? It is still November 5th. What is next?
I mean, I would say I would agree with you that Dillian Whyte fight is probably what's going to happen next. We know that Bob Arum or Duco Events called Eddie Hearn last night and talked about the Joshua fight for Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker is going to get that Anthony Joshua fight before Wilder gets it. I foresee that. I think we're either going to get a late summer, maybe a fall fight between Wilder and Joshua, because I do think Joshua wants it. I don't think Joshua is scared. I think Joshua wants some more money. And just like Canelo with the Triple G fight, I didn't think Canelo was scared of Triple G. And the fight proved it, that Canelo wasn't scared of Triple G. Canelo was definitely on Triple G's level, if not better. So I think that's a similar case here.
It's all about timing, man.
It's all about timing and business. I mean, like that. Yep. Unfortunately, that's what this is.
I mean, but that's what drives this. Would this sport even exist if these dollars didn't amount to what they amount? Really, like who would be really behind this? So, I mean, it is what it is, bro. Wilder's gonna have to sit and wait, but I'm glad it was a great performance for him. Someone in the chat, Lawrence Williams, shout out to Lawrence Williams, is saying, Ness, did Big Zoe look better than Stiverne last night? I'm the biased one, so I'm not going to answer it because, you know, automatically, you know.
There's some fuck shit going on.
Oh, yeah, you're Wilder's boy. So, Matt?
Yeah, I would say so.
You think Zoe did better than Stiverne?
I mean, I saw Zoe land some punches.
Well, that is true. I mean, when you compare him to last night's standards.
If we're comparing it to the first fight, no. But I mean, if we're comparing it to last night's standard where Stiverne landed 0 punches and got knocked out in 2 minutes, yes, Big Zoe did much better. He lasted rounds with Wilder, and you know, he didn't get knocked out like Stiverne. Like, let's be honest.
Do you see our Las Vegas correspondent? All right, I actually do see him. Sean Zettel, what's going on, my friend?
What is going on, Ness? What's going on, gentlemen?
I understand that you have Matt's mad. I didn't allow him to say hello back to you. I'm sorry, Matt.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on, Matt?
I understand you got something to get off your chest, man. It's the perfect place to do it. Voice of the People hotline. I mean, take it away. Let me make sure your levels are right. I want the world to hear you. I chose not to hear this beforehand like I normally do with you, Matt, just so I could give them all my fire and glory live. But let's hear it.
Well, maybe I have simmered down just a little bit, but I want to just start, you know, of course, we're talking about last night's fight, and that's what I'm going to get on. And before I get to that, Wilder looked great. You know, I'm hearing some voice back when I talk. But, okay, Wilder looked great, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do and, you know, got the first round knockout. All props to him. But he was in there with a guy who shouldn't have been in the ring last night in the Barclays Center. And when I say that, it's not a diss. It's almost a fact. It shouldn't have happened. Bermane Stiverne has fought once in the last 3 years, and that was a decision against Derek Rossi in a 10-round fight. Not really a WBC title eliminator, nothing like that. One fight in 3 years, and the WBC was telling you last night that he was the best heavyweight in the world to challenge for Wilder's crown. And what I want to say that there's something really smells here is we all know who was Stiverne's promoter last night, Don King. And Don King, for decades, had a corrupt, terrible relationship that was written about by writers like Jack Newfield, who was one of the premier investigative journalists on the mob and on organized crime and also on boxing. And he once had a famous quote about Don King that Jose Sulaiman wasn't his regulator, but more of his junior partner. And, of course, Jose Sulaiman passed away a couple years ago, and his son, Mauricio, is now running the WBC. And it's not to trash Mauricio, because the WBC has done some good things like anti-doping. But you guys tell me, what other reason can you give besides a favor to Don King for a decades-long relationship that made millions of dollars with his father, that you would say Stiverne got the shot last night? Because Stiverne wasn't ranked in the top 15 by either the WBO, WBA, or the IBF. And it just speaks to what stinks about boxing, these sanctioning bodies. Promoters are bad too. They divide the sport. But promoters are going to look out for self-interest and do what's best for themselves. It's these sanctioning bodies who are supposed to uphold some kind of integrity. The only reason we don't get unification is because of their very own rules, Ness. It's their own rules that don't allow them to mandate. For example, Pacquiao-Mayweather. Mayweather has the BC for several years. Pacquiao has the WBO. Why didn't the two companies mandate the other man as the challenger for each other's title so that if they didn't fight each other, they'd get stripped. But you know, I could keep going, but I didn't know if you wanted to stop me for a second and interject, or I could keep going.
I mean, I think Matt, you ready?
I have nothing really for Shawn. I think I've been on this show numerous times on record saying the sanctioning bodies have some innate corruption within them. I don't think Shawn used that word, but I'll use it. Corruption. You know, whether it is favoritism, whether it is whatever, it is corruption. And Don King has had a long relationship with the WBC, so this is nothing new. I don't think Shawn is saying anything new or revelatory. Like, this is something we all sort of knew.
I think I feel like I'm in the 1920s and this is a witch hunt.
What do you mean?
A witch hunt for who? Yes.
I mean, I guess the WBC is what it sounds like.
It's not a witch hunt against.
It sounds like you're pointing the finger at them for Stiverne being in the ring last night.
Look, this is just an incident of a industry-wide practice and culture. This is industry-wide. This is just not the WBC. This is the sanctioning bodies as a whole, and this is just another case of it happening and showing itself.
It's just this one was so obvious, Ness, because of the facts that I mentioned, that Stiverne had fought once in 3 years against a guy who
but hold on, because I think you're misleading the audience by saying that he hasn't fought in 3 years. Producer, fact check that. Last I checked.
Excuse me, one fight. I'm sorry, one fight in 3 years.
No, you mean excuse me, one fight in 2 years.
2.5.
2.5. Well, 2 years and
change.
Two
and
years
and another thing you said, Matt. Another thing you said, Shawn. You said, well, Bermane. You know, they're parading Bermane around as if he's the best heavyweight contender or something like that. Paraphrasing a bit there, right? But
that's what their rankings are telling you.
But you know that's not true, though. You're just a little bitter.
Right,
I guess you wanted a better fight last night.
That's my point. If we all know that,
but that's not true.
No, I'm not bitter at all. I'm looking forward to Joshua and Wilder fighting. That has become
no. What I'm trying to make clear,
started with giving Wilder credit.
But what I'm trying to make clear is that WBC is not to blame for Bermane being in the ring, but that's what you started your statement with. I mean, do you?
But they ranked him number one then.
Without fighting.
No one else ranked him in the top 15.
Wait a minute. They also they didn't rank him number one. You see, the problem with us boxing fans, we're a bit fickle, you know what I mean? They ranked him somewhere.
Number 2, and Ortiz was
they ranked them somewhere high enough. Excuse me, one moment. They ranked them somewhere high enough to be in an eliminator with Povetkin, and because that didn't happen, he's where he was at.
But
and again, just to say that the
which
WBC
would be next in line behind Povetkin.
No, but wait, because then there's so many people that you could point the finger before you can say WBC, because after Povetkin being the one that you can point
and Don King.
No, but I don't think that conspiracy that you're trying to talk about even exists. Don King is irrelevant. He wasn't even gonna make it to television. He had no. Listen, let me finish, Matt, because he had no alliance. He had listen. Well, let me finish. Let me finish. I mean, you can't get my point.
Go ahead.
How does a guy like you're saying? How does a guy that has no fighter, no belt, no anything get he doesn't get TV? This fight wasn't going to be on TV. Bermane wasn't going to be there. Fucking WBC didn't help them. There was no fucking trickery going on because no one wanted it. Luis Ortiz is the reason that we're here, not fucking Wilder or Suleiman or even Bermane. Bermane obviously is, he's got something to do with it, but let's be clear. Povetkin started it by not taking care of Bermane. They were in an eliminator to get Wilder after he already tested positive.
Yes.
After the dude tested positive, put him in another eliminator.
Very quickly, Shawn, before you go, I'm just going to add something, and maybe this might help out your point.
No.
If Stiverne wasn't promoted by Don King, and he was promoted by Banner Promotions or somebody else, do you think he would have been named the mandatory without fighting? Do you think they just would have been, okay, you're the mandatory?
No, I don't. No, I don't. And that's what I mean.
Yo,
I
think that he does.
He's not ranked.
I think because he remember he had to listen for him. Yo, Shawn, you're not even.
Let me.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead. I'm gonna forget, but just remember that he signed to James Prince. The only fucking reason he's here, bro. That's it. King has nothing to do with it.
But
nothing.
That's not the only reason he's here, Nestor. If he's not ranked in the top 10 or the top 5, let alone the top 3 by the WBC, he isn't the next man in line. Whether Povetkin, Ortiz, and the next 2 guys fall out of a Wilder fight.
So
nobody
Shawn,
in the world has him ranked in the top 10.
So
Nobody, not the WBA, none of them, not ESPN, not the Ring. I believe. I mean,
Shawn, do you understand how the rankings work? Do you understand how rankings work? Do you understand that the WBC can't just rank Anthony Joshua in their top 10 heavyweight division if he's not paying that sanctioning fee?
Point, Ness. That's
exactly. It's pay to pay. It's pay to play. Come on.
Rules to shoot the sport in the foot. That they're the ones who make their own rules. That's the only people saying that these rules have to be enforced.
No. You see, that's the glass half empty way of looking at things, bro. Because the truth is, if there is no sanctioning body, there are no rules. Where are the rules?
That's not true.
Who's enforcing them?
We want sanctioning.
That's Athletic Commission.
Who's enforcing them?
We want to mandate the best fights in the world.
Hey, Matt. When's the last time you heard of an athletic commission passing down a sanction or a fee or anything?
What is the ABC?
The last time I heard of any.
Ness, have you ever watched a Nevada State hearing? Have you ever watched a Nevada State Athletic Commission hearing? Because I've watched multiple. I bet Shawn has as well. You can't tell me that athletic commissions don't affect regulation. They 100% do. 100% do.
But Ness, that's my point. You see, we try to uphold the promoters, the networks, when in reality, if these sanctioning bodies amongst themselves change their own rules that they only have to go by because they made them, then they could sanction and mandate that you have to fight this guy to be world champion. The only reason they don't do it is their own doing, is my point. You know, we spend a lot of time, Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn, Showtime, HBO, but think about it. If the sanctioning bodies mandated unifications and fights like that, it would be so much easier to get the fights we want, like a Joshua Wilder. You know, it's absurd that because you hold one world title, you can't be ranked number 1 as the mandatory for the other.
Well, Shawn, they do exactly what you're asking them to do. And that's why you see
they do. And I know the WBC did Jack and DeGale earlier this year. They tried to do Triple G Canelo.
But it's bigger than that.
Did Ndongo.
It's bigger
Crawford,
than that.
so
it's bigger than that. Listen to me.
You know,
listen to me. It's bigger than that. Try and let me get a few minutes here. This is a business. These guys are promoters. They understand casual fan and how casual boxing works. In order to have a champion, he needs a belt. Each promoter or entity is aligned with a sanctioning body. Bob Arum has the WBO. Everybody, you know, Heyman has the WBC.
Relegated us to a niche sport,
brother. Okay, so what do you? Okay, so what do you want to do? Tell me, what do you want to do? I mean, because saying Bermane doesn't belong here and that the sanction embodies this and that, what are we going to do?
Maybe there needs to be some investigative.
We would have.
You know, like
because you're on the field. Let me be honest here. Let me be honest here because you're on the field, buddy. But buddy, you're on the field. You're on the field. Nestor Gibbs shot the shit with Mauricio Suleiman when he did the bullshit and made Danny Garcia versus Robert Garcia for a fucking vacant WBC. If you feel this way, you're on the field. Why you say something?
No one wanted to see Robert Guerrero get a shot at the.
That is my point.
Title.
That is
bullshit that you got Suleiman.
Dog. That's my point.
You did boss shit, but how are they doing boss shit?
I didn't say the word boss shit at all. I'm saying my point is when that fight took place, I interrogated Mauricio Suleiman. You are on the field.
Gotcha.
If you are not happy with sanctioning bodies and the rules, why are you not pressing these fighters about those questions? I mean, you're in Vegas. Why you ain't pressing Ken and Shawn about fighting fucking Shawn? I mean, Earl, you know what their answer is going to be? We ain't fighting for the IBF because they dropped us from the ranking when we lost to Kell Brook. But then there goes the same conversation you're bringing up right here. You should be saying fuck sanctionings.
Right.
It ain't gonna make no difference.
Well, I mean,
just saying it, you got to do something about it.
2 years ago. No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. I agree. I definitely agree.
Yo, Mauricio was at the fight yesterday. Did anybody ask him? Can anybody send me a link of Mauricio being pressed as to why Bermane was still there without fighting?
But Ness, you know why the media doesn't press certain members. Hold on, very quickly, Sean. Very quickly, Sean. We know why the media doesn't press certain.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Why? Because I press every fucking body I talk to. Who don't I press?
I generalize the media. I didn't say you, Ness. I didn't say you. Relax. I said the media, generalizing, and we know that because we know access is key. And if you ask too many hard questions, you don't get access. That's just the plain fact. We all know that.
And that's to your credit. And that's to your credit. You know how to ask hard questions in a good way. You know, you're a big dude, and you know how to be, a charismatic guy naturally. And I think it's hard to ask tough questions in the kind of way you do too. But I think what Matt's talking about too is, I think you talked about this with Virgil Hunter. If we cover a fight a certain way, maybe ask certain questions, they'll get real, restricted on our access to these fights. And
absolutely,
that's not a reason for us to stop, but that is also the reality of the situation.
And then we don't get paid, and we don't eat. Like, that's simple. Like, and that's not just us. That's everyone in this sphere, because everyone is on a lower level. A lot of independent media is boxing. There's not a lot of mainstream media covering boxing.
Okay, so what do we do? Because we can't just sit around here being the Georgie Porgies of the world. Oh, the mafia. No, what are we gonna do?
We, or just, are you talking about us specifically, or the media?
We as a people, we as the boxing fans, right? Aren't we the ones with all the gripes? Aren't we the ones that hate that there's 5 sanctioning bodies?
The media needs to stop giving a fuck about access, because that's at one point we did start caring about access. The media did start only caring about access, and we started. It was the Mayweather era with fight hype and everything like that. We started being nice to the fighters. Instead of being a little bit adversarial, like a little bit combative. Like, that's the media's role. And part of why. Sorry.
And part of why is what Ness was saying earlier about the glass half empty. And, what you say is true. And we don't want to come off as these bitter reporters and boxing fans. We love boxing.
Exactly.
When you ask certain questions like that and try to press it, some people could take it as like, oh, he's so negative and he's just trying to. But, if you notice, we haven't said anything bad about the fighters. Like, I'm not getting at Stiverne for being in the ring. Of course he's in the ring. It's a shot at the title and money. I'm saying the WBC and the fucking his promoter Don King, it's a sham. He shouldn't have. He's placed there by those people. So, but yeah.
Well, Sean,
but as a solution would be for us to ask these sanctioning bodies, Francisco Paco Barcarcel, who seems to always be doing business with Top Rank. Just for someone like me to ask him, why is it in so many weight classes, Top Rank has a champion and fighters from the PBC aren't even ranked? Exactly. And then vice versa, for maybe WBC.
Dude, so, Mayweather and Pacquiao never were each other's mandatory because Mayweather never had the WBO.
Right. He only wound up winning it when they finally fought, because there was no more money to milk out of any other fights for the two of them. They pretty much exhausted all options and then fought.
Listen, that's why why
made everyone rich. But
people used to call me, and still do, call me this little, this Al Heyman fanboy. But when there was rumors of this PBC belt, that's what I wanted, because you need one belt. You have to uplift one above all others, and make those other dudes just come on board, man. Call it the WABC, XZ, WGZ, all the way to do the whole fucking alphabet. Let everybody get a piece of the pie, but having 5 individual ones is a problem. They could still have 5 too, Matt. Think about it. Like 5 in every division, but it's still one uniformed sanction, right? WBC, WBO, everybody under one, right? So they all get paid equally, because that's what they're going to hate, right? So they all get paid equally annually and everything, and each one is a level. Now, that's probably also going to piss them off, but someone has to be like, that belt you get when you're fucking 15-0, that regional shit. So IBF might get downgraded to that, even though we're using the word downgraded for simplicity, but that's not really what it is, IBF. Like, you're not really downgrading your belt. We think it's cool. We're still going to keep the WBC at the top, and it's really not a top. We're just using that as a word, you know what I'm saying? But it has to be in order, and it has to be like, that one will be like the championship. You know how they got intercontinentals in each fucking in each sanctioning? Just strip away all of that and
NABF.
Just strip away all of that and give each sanctioning one job. But you can only get to the champion through each sanction. You know what I mean? Like, you have to get that intercontinental IBF, you know, then you got to go and get that, you know, WBO, whatever's the next step, the Britain title, right? What they got over there?
Very, I think the perfect world, in a fantasy world, all these things were just combined, and we would have one international regulatory body. That's what boxing needs.
It would be the easiest thing to have one champion and the number one contender. No fucking belt, just one belt.
Again, because that job would be so hard, it would make sense that all these sanctioning bodies would need to merge together and have a merger and have one sanctioning body. You would need all those people working together, and it would just be one name, one group. Again,
but then we all shared a joint in saying kumbaya. Listen, Shawn, I'm gonna let you go and get to some other people. Thanks for calling in as always. Keep up the great work. Oh, hold on. Let me go back to you.
Hey, Ness.
Yeah, you're live.
You're
live.
Are you guys giving any Joshua Wilder? Are you guys giving any quick takes on Joshua Wilder today?
What, you want to say an early prediction? Damn.
I don't know. It feels like a toss-up fight right now, but I just think that it replaced Canelo Triple G as the biggest fight in boxing now.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
heavyweight boxing is the biggest thing in boxing.
It hasn't been though for almost 2 decades. So
yeah, but it's waking up, man.
It maybe take boxing to another level.
It's waking up.
Right.
That heavyweight division is waking up. I can't believe that Showtime didn't air Brazil. That was the drop ball of the year. Really. With all that they've done, that seems odd, man. But, Shawn, are you all done before I get to anybody else?
I would just, couple quick tips about both guys. Wilder is more fluid. He's more athletic. He has a better jab that he uses more. Their power is about even. But Joshua likes to come in combinations more with inside punches like hooks and uppercuts. So he's better there. And he keeps his hands up more. And one thing with Wilder is he looked his best twice against Thaboxingvoice, a guy who's 6'2". And I think Joshua has a big advantage heading into that fight because he fought Klitschko and had to deal with a man his own size. And Wilder,
Klitschko's old and tired.
Has worked fine against shorter guys, but
Klitschko was old and tired and going through postpartum and bullshit like that. Motherfucker was a living home nanny.
Come on.
Man, don't
I'm
come on,
saying
man.
It's like this open.
If Wilder had that fight, you would be waving the flag saying, Wilder beat Klitschko, Wilder beat Klitschko. Like, come on.
I don't need to wave no flag. The only flag I need to wave is the flag of victory once we get the fight. That's all. Just make the fight.
Well, I'm just saying, what I'm saying is that Wilder, we got to see if him keeping his hands low hurt, because when he fought a guy his size in Gerald Washington, it made him more timid because he was in range. Timid,
or
with a guy his own size.
Timid, or he showed you a 6'7" version of Mayweather with the counter left hook. What are you talking about, bro?
Oh my God! Anytime a guy boxes than Mayweather now, that is a disgrace to the great Floyd Mayweather. Do not put them in his sentence. How about that? But no, he was losing those rounds. He's not Mayweather, and he's not showing the greatest.
So when Mayweather takes the first 4 rounds, hey Matt.
He was losing rounds at Gerald Washington.
Hey, Matt, let me get this straight. When Mayweather takes the first 4 rounds off, what happened, Matt?
I'm out. I'm not entering this discussion.
Yo, this is entertainment, Matt. What's up? You're topping the ball right now.
When you compare Wilder to Mayweather,
I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying when Mayweather takes 4 rounds off.
You said, so he's a 6'7" Mayweather.
Wait a minute.
On,
but that was the last argument. Now this is a whole other argument. I'm saying when Mayweather takes 4 rounds off, he's figuring a guy out. When Wilder takes 4 rounds off, he's losing. He's a bum. I get it.
Nah, man. First of all, Floyd almost always won the first 4 rounds of the fight. Okay, the only fights we could really think about are Judah and Conor. Conor, he's 40 years old, didn't train.
Marcos Maidana
in 2 years, and he got Maidana. Oh, he didn't lose the first 4. And Maidana is a
shit.
That's a big.
Some people had Floyd losing the first 5 in that fight. Man, you better go back and watch that show. Listen, Shawn, this is why I tell you should jump on and be a panelist, bro. You're taking up so much. I want to just jab Shawn right now. Couple shots to the bite. That's why I always tell you should be on a panel. We got dozens of people trying to get on here.
All right. Let the people speak. All right, I'm out. Let the people speak.
All right, Shawn, thanks for calling in. We're gonna go. Look, we're gonna have to just cut it short, man. I mean, we're a little behind. I guess we get through the Jermell Charlo. Oh man, we didn't even give proper time for Porter. Did he break his hand? Is it official?
I have not heard anything.
Feels it's broken.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's broken. It looked like it was.
I didn't see anything official. Look at that. And Shawn, you're in it. He probably hung up already. Look, we can't even ask him to go find out. He already hung up. Said his piece and skipped town.
I wonder if Enrique wants to talk or if he's just going to sit there in silence as usual.
I mean, he's not even here, bro. When he has like a black face, it's like he's not even here, bro. Who knows that dude anyway? Well, let's just slow pace up thing here. Let's just get into the Porter. How'd you feel?
I heard that.
I felt like Porter did good, and looking back on it, you can definitely tell that he changed up his game around the 6th round, in which he said that was the round he broke his hand. You can tell he slowed down and he started just looking for specific shots, not really rushing him the way he was, especially in the first 4 rounds. But I thought Granados did well. Granados definitely didn't win. He definitely lost by a lot, but he did well. He was competitive. He's definitely that top 15 range at the welterweight division. I still think he should move back down to 140. But it was a fun fight, entertaining fight. And Shawn Porter, hopefully he heals up soon and he can fight a Errol Spence, a Keith Thurman, Terence Crawford, Jeff Horn, any one of those.
I wonder what this means for Porter, right? Like, is he going to go right into a fight with Thurman if it's available coming off an injury? Isn't it better to test it hitting someone, or is that good enough testing and sparring? I mean, I just don't know, bro.
Here's the thing. Porter might realize that if it's on the table, if the Thurman fight's on the table, he hasn't had a tune-up fight to test that hand, he might take it thinking, this is my shot to just get that rematch.
But, Matt, that could be yesterday's way of thinking for them, right? I mean, they're quoted. Listen to me. They're quoted in our intro saying, take the fight, Keith. We're going to take less money this time to make more money the second time, so let's do it 2 times. So, look, they already was like, yo, conceding the shit in the beginning just to get the fight. So now they're not going to do it twice, bro, when they're a bigger – they raised their profile. I mean, he was introduced as one of the most popular fighters. That's how Jimmy Lennon started. So, like, that shit changed for a reason. Someone told him to say that.
True. I just think that I think Shawn is still not in any way the A side to any of these guys. And,
no, but he doesn't have to be not to jump at the fight with a hand that he's not sure if it's 100.
True, but again, my point was only if the Thurman fight is on the table, and it might not be. Porter might be put on the back burner for this year to make way for the Spence Thurman fight.
It might also work in his favor, though, because Thurman is talking March. Then he's got to take what, like a week, 2 weeks off, and then you got to do like another 8 weeks, 10 week with a promotion. So even if he fought in March, what we're talking, quick turnaround June in Barclays versus Porter.
Yeah, late June.
So this works out for Porter. By then, he's got to be 100% with his hand for June. Yeah,
he definitely should be good by summer.
But he still won't have, unless he heals up early first quarter, he won't have time for a tune-up. I think, I mean, I don't know. Depends if the hand is even broken, bro. Jermell Charlo. So what are some of the interesting things Jermell Charlo had to say yesterday?
Exact quote from Boxing Scene. Shout out to Radio Raheem.
Oh, really? You're not gonna use Adams because he had so much. Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
What did he say? What did he say to Raheem?
He said, Erislandy Lara, who is in my weight division, who I used to train with, who I used to spar with, who I grew up with, all of that. But I really don't give a fuck. I'm saying it just like that. I'm the champ of the world. Charlo Lara, first half of 2018. Are we getting it?
I mean,
Or is Jared Hurd going to find one of them first?
I have an opinion on this. I have a couple of facts on this.
Ooh.
And I guess our theory and opinion would be the same. So, that's cool to hear him say that. Not too long ago, and I'm talking about the last time he was out in public, probably was after the fight or something like that. Adam interviewed him and his brother, and him and his brother said that he specifically said on our video, my brother don't want me to fight Lara. Not right now. It ain't that I won't fight him, but there's other champions, and that's a stablemate, yada, 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 yada. So that's cool to see him now.
Changing his tune.
Changing his tune.
But then again, so Lara has also said very recently that I'll fight Charlo.
No, he said that last time out. He said that
post fight too for the.
Yeah, he said that on TV. I'm sure someone translated it. But Charlo also told Adam Sperber, our New York correspondent, yesterday live at the fights, that he talked to Al. Al knows what he wants. He ain't like some of these other guys who doesn't talk to Al. He doesn't just run and talk to Al. He makes sure he's clear, he's calm, you know. And Al knows he wants Hurd. And Hurd is an easier fight than Erickson Lubin. So, I don't know. Are we going to get Lara, or is it going to be Hurd?
I don't know. I think that because Hurd and Charlo are both young, they're both under the same banner, that fight's going to quote-unquote marinate. I think Lara needs to fight one of them to establish one of them as the guy in the division, and then you have the next young guy fight.
So you're saying basically let one of the young guys either prove his worth or feast on the old guy.
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of the same thing. No, that's the same thing. So it's either yeah, because if he's got to prove his worth, because Lara definitely is gonna test them.
Lara should be the favorite too. I'll be honest. Lara is the more established guy in the division. He's more technically sound than both of them. You can argue.
I don't even know. I don't even remember. Like right now, I'm drawing such a blank. It's like who? I see a glowing dot over whoever he last fought. I really can't remember. Who was it?
Terrell Gachet.
You're right. For some reason, I was seeing a fairer skinned guy. Yeah, but that was damn, and they went rounds too. He didn't even knock out Gachet, did he?
No. Lord went at the very methodical pace, you know.
Did he drop him? He dropped him? Because I seen Gachet go down before. Tell me he at least dropped him. I thought I saw this fight. That's how this is the thing. Lara doesn't, he's not sticking in people's brains. He's got to give us more. You know, we need more of those Alfredo Angulo moments. See, I remember that fight. Why? He swelled up his eyes. I was like, yo, what the fuck you did to me? That's what happened to his eyes. So you remember that. But like Gachet, So, you know, whatever, man. Whatever about that. We gotta actually speed it up. So we're gonna do 4 minutes on this Golovkin Canelo Dallas. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm happy about this, even though it means absolutely nothing. It does. But I'm happy about the thought of a Triple G Canelo in Dallas. But we're always optimistic. And guess what, Matt? Jerry Jones or whoever the fuck owns the stadium, he's always putting his name in the hat. He's always got a bid, but he never wins. Vegas always wins. No one beats Vegas. When's the last time a big fight wasn't in Vegas? So, like, you know, I remember, you know, years ago, I used to get excited, like, yeah, that's what, just like the UK, man. They need to do it in Texas, 60,000, man. Everybody, man. Yeah, right, bro. It's right. It's wrong. I got Willie calling me. I gotta take this. You just never know. You never know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just never know. But yeah. So where was I in my story there?
I have no idea. Once Willie called,
where was I in my story?
I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah, you're a horrible co-host, my friend.
Yo, you know I have a fever. Like, you know, I've been like in and like out of the hospital with my mom like this whole weekend. Come on. I'm exhausted here. I'm working off fumes. Hey, be happy I even watched the fight with UFC 217 on at the same time.
So yeah, it was about optimism and believing that this last topic that you wanted to discuss on Sunday's show.
Oh, that's right. Ness. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I remember what I was gonna say about it. Ness, you used to be so like, Matt, your glass half empty. Like, you're such a pessimist. You're such a hater. Ness, be optimistic, man. Maybe the rematch does happen in Dallas. Maybe Jerry Jones does offer up a big site fee for that fight.
But that's what I was telling you, that early on, I used to always get excited about this type of news. But that's what I was ending with, that no one beats Vegas. Like, they just pay more. They offer more.
Yeah, they do. The T-Mobile does love Canelo.
Yep. So any other headlines you want to get to before we move on?
No, let's go to the callers and the sponsors. And are we doing a overtime show, by the way?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it all depends on scheduling, right? And timing. We just never know.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All right. Oh, snap. That's my boy right there. I'm actually going to go out to my mans in the UK real quick. Bully. Bully.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Bully.
Captain of the Protectors.
Yo, I actually got Stan. Where is that, man? I want to play. Oh.
You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.
Yo.
Listen. I ain't even going to talk about the fight. I was listening to the podcast and I heard something and I nearly fell down all the way to the floor. A 6'7" Mayweather Ness, really. And I'm a protector. I mean, a 6'7" Mayweather. Come on, man. Stop. You guys are taking this dick riding too far, man.
Yo, I got my saddle and my cowboy.
Hold on. Don't say you guys. That was
Matt.
I respect you because Matt said I'm out of this bullshit. Don't include me.
Yo, Matt, ride it with me, Matt.
Because that was hella disrespectful.
Come on, man. You can't compare the two in any way.
Matt, ride it with me, yo. Nobody believed when I picked Garcia either.
Listen, and he still lost. He lost to Thurman. Come on.
I didn't pick him for that fight.
You didn't pick for that fight, period.
I picked him for the one that count. And you know what I picked for that fight. Stop it.
Listen, Deontay Wilder will get hurt, but we're not talking about that. Deontay Wilder and Mayweather should not
when you
go
say
in the
hurt
same sentence ever again.
Yo, but bully, but when you say hurt, you mean hurt like what? Hurt like right now, how Matt feels hurt because he's got a fever and his body aches?
I'm talking hurt like the windmill that he put on Bermane Stiverne. That kind of hurt. Like it was real. I was real hurt when I heard that, and I just think it's disrespectful. Now onto the fight, the big fight that we all want to talk about. Deontay Wilder could be a good fighter if he learns how to not see the red mist and start swinging his arms like an Olympic swimmer when he's down for the finish. He will get hurt if that happens. Why is no one talking about the technique? I don't understand.
Who's going to hurt him?
But he didn't get hit with the punch.
Who's going to hurt him?
Yes.
He didn't get hit with the punch. What do you mean? Like he
fought a bum though.
So who's going to step up? So who's going to step up?
Dillian White will put some work on him. He won't beat him.
He won't. Dylan White won't put any work on him.
So you're saying you want to watch a waste of time?
I'm saying someone like Fury, who's got that kind of footwork and nice head movement, will give Deontay Wilder all kinds of problems. And that's just the truth.
But he might give Joshua problems. Fury might give Joshua problems. What are you talking about?
Hey, Matt.
I smell pussy.
Make the fight. Why can't we just have the fight and then we can watch it and then we can actually tell who's the better guy, right?
We're waiting over here, and I believe that he is going to give Joshua problems. But I'm just saying, stop with the dick riding. You said that Bermane Stiverne Klitschko was real old, but he's 41.
Yo,
and Stiverne's 39. You didn't say a word about
Stiverne. Bully,
man, stop this.
Bully,
man, I know that's your boyfriend, but you don't need to chill out with it.
Yo, bully, you got some nerve saying I'm dick riding when you're saying Dillian White can't beat Wilder, but he still should fight him.
But listen, could Bermane Stiverne beat Deontay Wilder?
Yo, let me ask you something. Are you the captain of the Anthony Joshua Protectors or just a protector?
Hey, listen. If I'm a AJ protector, you're a Deontay defender. That's the new one. Hashtag Deontay defender, because that's you. You called him a 6'7" Mayweather. Shame on you.
I smell pussy.
Sign a contract.
Anyway, that's me, man. Look, great performance by Bermane Stiverne. I mean, by Deontay Wilder. We'll see what happens next summer. I'm out.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in. Let me see. Oh, damn. I was supposed to be getting something ready. We're going to have to make him wait one more time, but he'll understand when I go to him. I swear to goosh. Oh, is that my boy right there? Where he been at? Stu, he been ducking us, man.
But no one can stop me, really.
Oh, there's a king croc right there. This croc has enough power in its jaws to rip my head right off.
Unique in the 6th round, in the 7th round.
Gennady Productions.
You're gonna be the legend to become a legend.
Honestly, these are unbeatable.
You're gonna be the legend to become a legend.
Hey, long time, the boxing voice. How's it been? How's everyone going?
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man? We miss you.
Yeah, good. Actually, just bought a new house, renovating it currently, so finally got a little bit of free time. Still been keeping up to date on the playback though, so always keeping in touch with TPV. But look, it was an awesome performance by Deontay Wilder. The last guy had a point. His fundamentals kind of lack his wide swinging arms, Wilder's wide swinging arms. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's got the power. No one's been able to really beat him, at least. And I just can't wait for Joshua Wilder. No excuses. If he's so easy and he throws windmill punches, it should be easy money for Joshua. So why do we even need to marinate the fight? And that also brings into question the integrity of Eddie Hearn. I mean, if he's wanting to make this fight marinate for so long, but Wilder lacks a lot of technique and people will give him problems, wouldn't you want to cash out on Wilder now? That's my question to the UK callers, and take it easy, guys. Thanks for the show.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in. Dan, it's been a long time, man. Good to hear you, bro. Good to hear from him. No, man.
Congrats on the new house. That's always a big thing. Buying a house. That's huge. So congrats on that, brother. I think it's funny when people use the word integrity with promoters. I mean, they're kind of there to like lie to the public in a way. Like that's their job, to sell the public something that they may not want.
Yes, I can see that, Matt.
Like, I'm not saying that they are like awful people, but like integrity is a weird word to like assume that a promoter has. Like that's not a quality that you want from a promoter, actually. If you're a fighter, you want your promoter to go to bat for you on everything 100%, regardless if it's true or not. That's a good promoter.
True. Let's get to Kansas City, Mac. Talk to me. Kansas City, Mac.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I hear you. What up, Verge?
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me get situated.
Yeah, what's going on, brother? You gonna kick it with us or what?
Yeah, man, my bad. I was eating food and then y'all started. It was surprising me, man. I want to start with first and foremost, appreciate y'all. It's been a minute, been working. Deontay Wilder, man, he's the truth. I don't know why that guy from London's playing. Keep playing games, being disrespectful. This is America. Deontay Wilder styled on this man tonight. How many fights do you want him to have? You want him to have 40 fights before Joshua gets in the ring with him? This is crazy. We got him out in the first round, and you still not giving him his props. Still not giving him his props. Why are these people? Look, the game is getting changed up. All that cupcake stuff, you want to wait. Now they cleaning it up. All these heavyweights, they coming. Even people like Errol Spence, the ones that want to duck. Crawford need to go ahead and get Porter out of there. Some of these guys, they just want to play games. They just want to play games. They don't want to step out. They don't want that smoke. They say they want the smoke, but they really don't want the smoke. They want to play. So they coming, like Wilder. And I agree with Ness. He might just be up there with Mayweather. I don't know about defense-wise, but okay, 49 is questionable. He can do it. He could do it. And then this is off of this is going to MMA. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm not gonna be too long. It's been a minute, but this is Kansas City Mac. I want y'all to know I said it. Wilder is coming. The takeover's already been here. The Godfather Al Heyman, he's already established this. This blueprint's been here. So y'all might as well just get down, lay down. There's nothing you can do about it. Your London guys step up. If Wilder's so trash, come get it. If it's easy, why come get it? Come get it. You don't want the smoke. You don't want it. This Kansas City Mac, I'm out. Thank you.
That's how I feel.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, he ain't done, Matt. He ain't done. Go ahead, Mac. Let him have it.
Listen to this for Matt, please, because McGregor, he can get some GSP because he's back too.
What,
so
man? You about to get that? Man, where the guns at? How you gonna come back to talk about MMA, man? Get out of here.
Any day. And
Yo, Matt, don't encourage that shit.
We got a ringer.
Yo, B. I told you how shit work around here, B.
Hashtag GSP.
Yo, hashtag
the GOAT.
Hashtag new shit. You heard it here first. Oh, wait, I should play this first. Hashtag new shit. You heard it here first.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up. Let's make this official. Everybody that's agreeing.
We got a ringer.
First one in, last one to lead. That shit is ill.
Oh, yo, why Matt talk over your intro like that?
That was an intro. You didn't tell me that was an intro.
At an appreciation.
Tell me that was an intro.
What it said? Said the king. It said the king. I mean. Yo, why you talking? Yo, we gonna shank you next time we see you. Straight shank in the bathroom status.
I'm trying to do a producing job over here, and I'm sorry, but now stop trying to lie to the people.
What? About what? That is his intro.
That's not what I'm. Just go on me.
Boss, man. I don't know what you did. You just ruined it for I mean. Why you think I said, yo, he gonna understand?
Play it again. Play it again then.
Damn. I don't even know who made that. Somebody made. Oh, matter of fact, that's a UK DJ. Shout out to our UK DJs out there. DJ Roos. We're gonna play that one more time. We got to bring it back now. Well, I gotta find my backspin. Where my backspin? Let me see. Where my backspin at? Oh my God, where is it, Matt? I always want to use the backspin. I'll never know where it's at.
Poor Amin, just on the line.
Yeah, man, because you ruined it.
DJ Ness, get it off. It's all good.
I know. We gonna bring it back without a backspin. Fuck it.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up. Let's make this official. Everybody that's agreeing.
Jersey in the house.
Don't get no hotter than that. That shit is bananas. Listen, Deontay Wilder, when I watched that shit last night, I stood up and reached out like I was trying to hold him back, because when he ran through Stiverne and he threw that last combination, I was like, yo, chill. Like, I jumped out because he beat that man like he had something personal against him. And that's what you do when you believe that somebody is not in your class. They in front of you, you get them out of there. So I was super impressed with that victory. I don't think it mattered who was in front of them that night. I think Joshua, wherever he was at, was watching that shit on TV, Billy and White. I'm sure, the only thing I say about it, it's not about, tell me, before I go in, did Joshua, how much did he get for that fight against Takum?
Joshua made 21 mil for Takum.
So, and I feel insulted and disrespected.
And
that
I don't think that has anything to do with
1.4.
pay-per-view, right? Right, Matt? That ain't got nothing to do with pay-per-view. That's just that upfront guarantee.
Yes.
I feel so disrespected that Deontay Wilder is only getting 1.4, and I feel like, you know, he got robbed a little bit with the Povetkin. He was trying to jump up to 1.5. I think for the value, what he brings to the heavyweight division, I mean, the man's only getting 1.4. I think that shit is so disrespectful. So when he get in there, like I say, get in there with White. If he can get $4 or $5 million off the fight with White, maybe get 5 to 7 off something with Brazil, and get that, because I feel like he should be paid his value as a fighter, man. And you know, when they collide at the end, I think it's going to be great for the heavyweight division. I'm gonna burn a little bit on Shawn Porter, man, because Shawn Porter is the new age K9 Bumbridge, man. I cannot. He's athletic, but his boxing, I mean, he's a good inside fighter. Nah,
the new
K9? He's K9 Bumbridge, yo.
Oh,
he's the new Bumbridge, yo. He's the new Bumbridge. He's coming in, he's leading with his head, but yo, he hurt his own self last night with all them damn headbutts, man. I mean, I get tired and I try to watch it because I got respect for him as a man and all this and that, but just watching him fight, that was the one I went, I smoked, I didn't really care. I came back, I was hoping something, you know, magnificent was going to happen. I said, where's his power? For all that strength, all that bullying, where's his power? He's not dropping nobody. The last person he ran through like that was Paulie Malignaggi. So it gets frustrating to watch him do what he do for 12 rounds, man. And so when he gets in the ring with Porter, you know, it is going to be a good fight because Porter's going to make it that way. And Shawn Porter, he's got to, I don't know, man. I know they say, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But something wrong with that shit right there. I can't do it. Shout out to my man that made that intro, though. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to the show. Y'all fellas keep it moving. That's my call.
I mean, man, long time coming. We're glad you got it. First one here, last one to leave. What up, Produce?
We got a ringer in the
Who
Boston
that be?
area.
Who?
In the Boston area.
Oh.
Georgie. Porgy.
Right here, Joe. Come on. How you feel? All right?
Stop it. Stop the fight.
Respira.
I'm done. Breathe. Stop the fight. Stop it. I want it stopped.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't play Showtime to see you all there not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see some motherfuckers just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate.
What's happening, people?
Georgie.
Wildest shit.
Georgie.
I've been put work on you for a little while, my nigga, but you borderline now with this fucking Deontay Wilder dick riding WBC defending shit. Outrageous.
Let's do it.
Talking about WBC. Why? The fucking mafia, nigga. Let's melt. Let's melt. These niggas are mafia, bro.
Make up your own words. That's my phrase.
Fucking information. Listen, there's a plethora of information about the fucking villainy of the WBC. You the only motherfucker in the world come out here like they don't know, they don't understand, they don't get it. Excuse these. Nigga, please. Stop that shit. Take out the fucking WBC sticker from the TV banner and gain some respect from your audience. Nigga, please. Let me get to fucking Shawn Porter. Nobody can hate on Shawn. Shawn will fight anybody. Any motherfucking body out there, Shawn will fight. So anybody talking about Shawn, nigga, you don't know what the fuck you saying. Pretty much it. That's my call. Everybody donate, support, and we're gonna have to fucking bitch slap the fucking dick riding out of the nets and Gibbs by calling in.
Yo, you know what I don't get about your retardedness is that all you do is talk. You just yell. Like, when are we gonna see
Well,
you?
nigga, what about what?
When are we gonna see you? When are you
Nigga,
gonna
what
be
about
more?
what?
When are you gonna be
I'm
more
gonna tell you right now, nigga.
than just a guy
I'ma
that
tell
says
you
a
right
bunch of
now,
curse
nigga.
words? When are you gonna be more than a guy that says a bunch of curse words?
Come on, ponytail.
And when you gonna be more than a guy who be docking these pie bits? Huh? When you gonna be more than that?
Bro, we graduated
Talking
from
these
pie
pie
bets,
bets.
bro. We're not in high school
you
anymore.
graduated, right?
We're
You
not in
know
high
that,
school
huh?
anymore.
You know I will make you my pie bitch. I will make you my pie bitch in a second. You know that.
This guy has the
Dr.
same
Crawford.
problem that Matt has, and only Jose knows what I'm talking about.
Whoa, come on, don't compare me.
How is he saying he's gonna make me his pie bitch when he had to cut his hair?
Why would you compare him to
He
me?
literally had a ponytail at the age of like 50 plus, and he lost the bet to me, and he had to cut it because of his age. We all know that hair hasn't grown back. You wake up in the morning every day and you're reminded that you lost to Ness. So please have some respect when you call in here. You lost the ultimate bet. I could lose 1,000 pie bets to you. It's never going to replace the fact that your hair will never grow. If you were my age, possibly. Maybe Matt's age for sure. But at your age, you lost that ponytail forever. And wait a minute, just 1 minute, 1 second. Look at me. I did this to you, fucking dummy. Yo, camera back where it goes.
So how is that like me? How is Jordan like me?
Oh, like you in the sense that he keeps thinking somehow I'm ducking him when I have the upper hand on him. And
Whoa, wait.
I'm making it right now, and you keep thinking that like you're good at boxing.
Yeah, at least I signed up. Georgie hasn't signed up.
Shots fired. I'm coming.
And I'm definitely better at boxing than Georgie. That's for
coming.
That's damn sure.
Georgie doesn't know about boxing. How
I don't
about
think he's ever hit a bag in his life.
never, ever. Damn, a lot of alumni calling in, so plenty of intros to play.
I won't deny it.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
Come with me. Hail Mary, run quick, see what we have here now.
Boxingvoice.com.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
What's happening, people? Just fucking around, man. What's up, man? Great show, man, for a great week of boxing, fellas.
Sure was,
What's
brother.
up?
Sure was.
Telling you, man. Hey, real quick before I get into the whole Wilder, man, I want to give the shout out, of course, to Coach Flores, man, for giving TBV that all access training camp for Gabriel Flores Jr., who's fighting November 17th, man. We went down to the Legends Boxing, man. Seen a lot of boxing, man, a lot of good boxing. Got some elite names out there, man. Not only the whole Flores team down there, but then you also had Michael Collins, Oscar Negrete, the Benavides brothers, and I mean, it's all on YouTube, The Boxing Voice. Go check it out, definitely. So shout out to them for that. And Michaela Mayer, don't forget her, U.S. Olympian. So all that was great. So I had all that, and then I got to see Ryan Garcia. We watched boxing with them and see Ryan Garcia win. Then I also seen Wilder. Now, man, I don't understand it. I need a couple sound bites. I need there's some fuck shit going on. And then I also need that other one, Bomb Squad, because
there's some fuck shit going on.
I'm confused. Anthony, yes, definitely, because yes, there we go. Check this out, man. Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight Pulev. He gets hurt, whatever. The fight doesn't happen. Anthony Joshua fights Takam. Gets paid $21 million and receives no hate. Then Deontay Wilder, he's supposed to fight Luis Ortiz, which is great, but he comes up, dirty or whatever you want to say, how you want to say it, that he came up with a failed test, definitely. So now Deontay Wilder has to fight
Bermane Stiverne, who's a bigger name to attack him, but he has to fight him. So Wilder goes in there, does what he's supposed to do, and knocks him out beautifully. And then on top of that, add icing to the cake, he calls out Joshua probably about 75 times during the interview. He doesn't detour at all. He says, "No, I want Joshua." But yet there's hate, so I don't understand that at all. So, but I'm loving this week of boxing, fellas. Don't want to hold up the line. That's it. That's all I got to say.
All right, Alex. Thanks for calling in. As always, brother, keep up the great work, man. Shout out to you definitely for the interviews on the up-and-coming top-ranked prospects. I mean, really putting Matt to shame, you know. Matt's a star behind the mic, but horrible on the ground. I mean, you had to come all the way from North Cal to
Don't even talk to us.
What? Colin is your guy. He's right in your backyard. Don't you train in his old gym?
Yes, but also his gym now is
Let the people know, let the record know. Colin used to train in Matt's gym.
Are we going to ignore that I have flown across the country multiple times to interview people for you? So when other people haven't taken that flight with you or drive with you, and they've ducked that work.
Matt, you want to kiss live on air? I mean, I don't know. What are you looking here for?
Call me the super producer, and we can move on. That's all. Just admit.
Oh, you.
Admit that Clark Kent, a.k.a. Sugar Steven, is no longer the super producer. I have taken that mantle.
You know what I'm going to admit? I'm going to admit that the number of thumbs up do not equate to the number of people watching. That's what I'm going to admit. I'm also going to simultaneously admit that I want to shout out all my Patreons and my super chatters. Thank you for believing in the dream. And I want to also shout out all the duckers out there. This one's for you. Going out to the New Orleans, Joshua.
Hello.
What up? Joshua. Hello? Clock's ticking.
Yeah, my bad.
Punches being thrown.
I was driving, my bad. I hear myself talking. Is that reading?
Nah, don't worry about it. We don't hear it, so you all good.
All right. My call is similar to what I based my call off last night. Deontay Wilder just kind of invented who he was in the sport last night, regardless of who was in the ring with him. I was trying to keep up with the first guy you talked to in his argument, and I really didn't understand him pointing out Stiverne not being in the ring. Shouldn't have been in the ring because unfortunately a lot of guys fall to that in that category. And for the white yelling fight and what have you, the only thing Deontay could get from that is money, and I think he should, if he do take that fight, try to get as much money as he can. And if he can't get that, he ain't got no business stepping in the ring with Dylan White because there's going to be an outcome and it's going to be similar. And the people in the UK are the haters that he would never fight nobody to get that full recognition, even though two of the top guys in the sport got caught for popping when he was going in the ring with them, and they weren't being able to show up. Back to my point of where Anthony Joshua, he can't do nothing. Ain't nothing he could do to stop what's going to come to him if he get in that ring with Deontay Wilder. And I think Eddie Hearn and Joshua are very clear of that. And I don't really think they have no intention on fighting him regardless to what happens. And I don't think it's going to happen next year unless Hearn's trying to go bankrupt real quick. Because Joshua can't do nothing with Wilder. He don't have the A movement. He actually a bodybuilder trying to fight in boxing. And whatever, he ain't going to work in his favor. And the outcome will be very, very similar. That's my call.
Joshua, brother, thank you for calling in, man. We're going to go out to some other callers. Remember the number 14255695241. We're going out to Ohio.
If you know like I know, you should lie low. I used to get it in Ohio.
J. Will in Ohio dropped off. Damn. Suleiman the Scholar in New York City, talk to me.
Yeah, Ness. A couple of weeks ago, I called you and I told you this guy's gonna be stunned in the world, and that's what he did. He's the 1-2 heavyweight champion of the world right now is Deontay Wilder. The problem is that this Hearn got this guy with it, little cash cow, which is very protected, very stiff, and they're overpaying him because he accumulates the crowd, but his soft touches is not going to help. The guy he fought was an ex-champion. He was much more credible than Takam. The guy was no match for him. So if he fights this guy, AJ is going to be like another first round knockout. He's going to put him away. They're not in the same class. It's like a Glock. It's like you compare the Glock 19 to one of these $100 guns. They're not in the same world class level. I mean, it was so obvious. I mean, that guy it was a total mismatch. So that's the same way it's gonna happen with AJ. I don't know how AJ is gonna. I guess they're trying to frustrate Deontay, make him get old or something, so they could fight him. Besides that, it was no class. And then also the 140-pound IBF champion. This young kid had only 13 fights and became a champion of the world. Who's he gonna fight next? Gervonta Davis, who's moving up. You know?
Which kid? You talking about Lipinus?
There's no one.
Yeah, no. Lipinus is 140, and Gervonta hasn't made any official jump to 140 that I know about. Suleiman, not yet.
Oh, okay. But besides that, it was a good card. I don't think the Brazil should fight Deontay. It's going to be another mismatch. He's going to be knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds. He should keep away from Deontay, fight somebody else like Joseph Parker, because he has no chance. I don't think any heavyweight has a chance against Deontay right now. You have a great night. Thank you very much.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in, brother. Don't forget to press that thumbs up button. Continue to put this show in front of the eyes of casual fans that are in desperate need of a safe haven to come and congregate and speak amongst other like minds about boxing. Don't be on those other streams with just 24 people, all lonely.
Oh,
and sad.
We got a ringer.
Who's ringing?
Stainless.
Straight from the.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
What up? What up, man?
What up? What's
Matt.
going on?
What up?
TBV for the life. Man, sorry y'all caught me mid smoke, you know what I'm saying? I was pulling on that cone, Matt. What's up to Alex, you know what I'm saying, over in Australia, pull a cone for me. Congratulations on your house. Man, it's a nice night of boxing. I'm happy Deontay Wilder did what we expected him to do, and probably even in an even better fashion than we expected him to do it. I mean, my man pulled a juke move. Y'all said y'all saw that in the sparring.
Multiple times in sparring, and we just kept looking at each other shamefully too. We were like, kind of, I ain't gonna say embarrassed, but I'm just like, yo, what is D doing? Like, and me and Matt were just scratching our heads, really. I mean, I don't know. Matt, I'm putting words in your mouth. How did you feel first time watching it?
I thought he was just clowning his sparring partner. That's what it looked like to me. From watching sparring and seeing guys who spar people that are levels and levels below them, it looked like that happening. Like when I spar a amateur that's 11-0, and he just clowns me and he makes me miss every one of my shots. That's what it kind of looked like.
Yeah,
and I didn't know if it was serious, if he would ever do that in a world championship fight, but he did it. Like he did it. It was insane.
That's what I was pointing out to a lot of people when I was showing that last minute of that first round with those 3 knockdowns. Was whenever you ever seen somebody do a juke move, you know what I'm saying, in a boxing ring, you know what I'm saying, like yeah, we can all argue that Wilder gets a little sloppy once he knows the guy's pretty much out of there.
But did you see that jab and that 1-2 from my man? That shit was like a, you know what I'm saying, like a heat-seeking missile last night. Like he, I mean, I think if anybody to put in front of him last night, you know, he'd have probably did them harm. You know what I'm saying? Like, just from that frustration that he talks about, you know, and being a bronze bomber. You know what I'm saying, you know, even though he stays at peace as Deontay Wilder. It's good to hear that they trying to set up some different fights, you know, and just continuing to call Joshua out, you know, because I'm sure it won't be as long as the Triple G Canelo thing, but we all know we got a little waiting to do. I mean, not to mention Joshua may have broken his nose. Did we ever hear anything else about whether or not he had broken his nose, or, you know, had it reset or whatever? But
I haven't heard anything about that.
It's good to hear that. Yeah, see, I mean, I really didn't want to talk on that fight, you know what I'm saying, because it's too much shit going on with that. But it's good to hear Charlo calling out Lara. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like Charlo wanted to call out Lara after he beat Lubin. But Jermell Charlo was like hurt, and so Jermell just went with the yeah hurt. But it seemed like Lara, maybe Charlo got a little animosity towards Lara from all them years of sparring and him starting to get out on his own now. You know, like I said, that's the fight that I would rather see. I think that Hurd is a good fight, you know, because they're both kind of young. But you know, Charlo, especially under this Derrick James training camp and training regimen with Errol Spence as a peer to spar with, this dude is just busted out of the scene. So I would really like to see Jermell Charlo not stop himself, you know. And if he thinks and he believes that he can beat Erislandy Lara, a guy who they all say has beat them hands down continuously in sparring, then I want to see that fight. You know what I'm saying? And there's no disrespect to Jared Hurd. I think Jared Hurd is a decent champion. He's a good young champion. He's come along to be a great champion. He's, you know, with time he can be, you know, and blah blah blah. But I want to see that Charlo Charlo Lara fight. That sounds like the one that's going to build into something. Good fight from Porter and Granados. That was a nice fight to see. The lip in this fight was decent. And that's all I got, man. As I always say, please make sure that you push the thumbs up and share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. Get on that Patreon if you're on that super chat like I'm gonna be after I hang up. Then push that dollar sign, man, and get, you know what I'm saying. Let's keep this show doing what it's doing, and you know what I'm saying, because ain't nobody else got an interview with Eddie Hearn on the spot putting them questions to him. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody else met Mauricio Sulaiman in person and been able to say, you know, I really respect the WBC belt, but you know, what are you gonna do with this? And them to tell you personally to their face, oh, we trying to put together the best fights that boxing has seen this year. So shouts out to the TBV, man. Like I say, TBV for life, man. Peace.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. Stainless as always. Can't wait for the next appreciation. You know, as soon as he called, that's what was going through my mind, like appreciation, because someone was telling me like, oh, I think it was Tony G hit me up like, yo, Ness, Earl versus Peterson, where is that going to be? And I'm like, I don't know. Rumor is New York. And then boom, it hit me like, wow, but that's so soon. Like I ain't beat. January 20th, we got other plans. We're booked.
We're in LA.
Yeah, we're in LA, man. See us there. 220. I mean, Tony will be there. Marcus, what's going on, brother?
Yo, man, I ain't got PayPal for Dollar DiBiase, so I'm gonna do my own intro. Like, man, stop playing so much, man. Look, yo, check it out, man. Shout out to King up in the Brick City, man, for making my side split on that Shawn Porter commentary, but I'm still laughing about that. And shout out to Dennis, the Army guy, man, from down in Orlando in the Tampa area. Look, check this out. Hey, man, I don't think I could have had a champion with the, don't you know, the tape and under wrap when you play sport and you put the under wrap before you put the tape on. The Bermane Stiverne had that joke wrapped around his dreads. I was like, man, my champion can't have tape wrapping with his dreads. That joke got put on the ring rope when he dropped the man was dying. Hey, check this out, man. Hey, look, in reality, Deontay's not supposed to have to fight Dylan White to get the Juicy J. But check this out. But when El Chacal, when Rigondeaux was having problems making fights, it was a market for people like him to fight in Japan, and he had to go to Japan. And after he broke a couple people's jaws and started doing what he was supposed to do, here we are a couple years later, and he got the fight he wanted with with Lomachenko, and they got the right money. No, Deontay shouldn't have to go through this. He's been a true champion the whole time. He even conducted himself like a champion when he was injured with the type of fighter he fought when he came back. However, he's not known in the market where they pay heavyweight. I mean, he's known in the market, but he's not established as like a ticket sales. So, unfortunately, Deontay going to have to go over there and fight a dude like a Dylan White, or he's going to have to go to Australia and try to trick bag Joseph Parker into giving him a shot down into these markets that have these lower pay-per-view fees or the higher pay-per-view numbers than here in the U.S. No, he shouldn't have to. But, yeah, go ahead and get Dylan White up out the way, because if he makes $4 or $5 million, like you said earlier, if he makes $4 or $5 million on that fight, and he gets UK fans calling for the fight, because we all know the only why the fight happens is because of the pressure. Because, listen, we already talked about this before. There's only 3 heavyweights out here that's even of any significance. That's Parker because he got the belt. That's Deontay, and that's Juicy J. That's it. So, in some form or fashion, we not the Dylan White, the Doug Chisora, the Bermane Stiverne. Nobody's convinced that these dudes have potential threat to beat any of these champions or have a championship reign. So we know the dudes who is going to have a potential for championship reign, and they the 3 belt holders. So these dudes got to bang at some point in time. So one way or the other, because Deontay is the guy on the outside in looking in as far as sales and purses, he's going to have to go somewhere in one of those 2 places and fight a notable fighter to force the hand of that person. Now, I don't know if it's Joseph Parker, because Joseph Parker obviously is he has his promotional hand tied in with Bob Arum. But yeah, man. And as far as Jermell Charlo and Lara, I would love to see Lara and Jermell Charlo, because I'm tired of these dudes like these Lara and all these born-ass fighters holding us up for seeing real fights, man. Get these dudes out of there, man. Lines only, man. DC in the building, CBV for life, man. Y'all know how I do, man.
Thanks for calling in, my friend. Let's head on out to Matt's hometown.
Long Beach in the house. Yeah.
Hey, man, well-deserved, overdue to King Amin, first in, last to leave. Last night for Lipinets and Shawn Porter, every now and again on your way up, you have that fight where you have to use what I like to term as CDG, class, determination, and grit. You know, when every time when they have to show class, and this is Lipinets and Porter both in their fights, because you'll have a fighter sometimes that's on the cusp journeyman, which Kondu and Granados were. But they were guys who believed in themselves, and they believed that they were shorted. And so these guys, sometimes on your way up, you got to beat them. And that's what happened for Shawn Porter and Lipinets. But they showed that CDG, class, determination, and grit. On your way up, you got to do that sometimes. They outclassed them. They were a little more determined than both of those guys, and they showed that grit, that championship determination. As for Wilder, he kind of did what Eddie Hearn asked. Eddie Hearn asked that his cachet be higher. So what Wilder did, he went out there with a demonstrative performance. Like his performance was like otherworldly. Like, you not even a man of my stature, the way he stood there over there. And I think that was like emphatic, you know what I mean, on the whole thing. And that's just going to put more pressure on AJ, and it just makes the fight even bigger. And if he goes and fights Dillian White, that's just, if I'm Deontay, I'm like, dude, I get it. Kings don't chase peasants. And that's a true statement. But sometimes you just got to go through the proper chains of business. And I think in this case, that's what it is. But the people will make it happen regardless. He ain't got to worry about it. The people will make it happen regardless. That boy can run, but he can't hide. You know, I think Joshua may be a pretty durable guy. He's in shape. He's a big, strong dude. But something about that Wilder right hand, it got electric in it, man. And at the end of the night, I think Wilder's the bigger puncher. Joshua usually wears guys down, but can he get to Wilder? Will that jab be in his face? And if that right hand lands, man, it just doesn't seem a lot of dudes is taking it. At least seen Joshua hurt, so it wouldn't be uncommon to see it again. But fellas, man, I appreciated the immediate reaction show. Matt, man, I don't know if you starting to share the same sentiments more, but I'm starting to agree with everything you say more. Shout out to y'all for all the hard work, y'all. TBV.
For life.
Very quickly. Nestor,
very quickly.
We got a ringer.
Who's ringing?
KM Star. If it doesn't have an intro, you should definitely get it.
Hey guys, what's up? I love the calls today. Marcus, Stainless, everybody's on point with everything they're saying. And I'm just going to keep this real simple. What we saw yesterday, you asked somebody, you want to see that again? How many times a year would you like to see that? 2, 3 times a year. Everyone's going to say, I want to see that man fight. I want to see him be active. I want to see him be busy. He's already on the right path to getting himself more marketable. I think everything we've been saying till now about his marketability, he put a pin in that discussion yesterday when he put Stiverne out. And he just walked right through him. You could talk about the quality, his inactivity, whatever, but he did exactly what you're supposed to do with a man who is your inferior. So I think he's gonna start doubling his paydays for his next fight, no matter who he fights. I don't think he's gonna be able to get Joseph Parker, Anthony Joshua in his next fight. I don't think it matters, because I think if he takes Dillian White, he's gonna triple his current salary. And after that, you're just going to get more demand for him to fight other people. And the build to this fight is so easy. Both of these guys are in their prime. They're both knocked out every man they've ever faced in the ring. Like, it's so easy to promote that, it's just going to be such an easy sell. I can't even add more to what everyone else said. He looks spectacular. He looks so fast. It's always the speed and the jab and, like everyone said, the 1-2 that's so impressive, even with the wildness when he gets a guy hurt. So really quickly, I'm going to move on to the Shawn Porter fight. Man, I always find myself saying this. Every time I see him fight, it's just hard for me to beyond liking him as a man, to like his fight style. And the funny thing is like, isn't the Porter family really close with the Mosley family? Like, didn't they used to train together and all that sort of stuff? And it actually occurred to me, like, they believe in, like, the athleticism more than they believe in, like, the pure boxing. That was the criticism of Mosley, wasn't it? That he used to do something called power boxing when he came up. Wasn't it all about, like, power boxing? And as he got older, it became a little more obvious that, he was a guy with fast hands and athleticism, but not really, like, a proper boxer. And that's what I think about Shawn Porter, And unfortunately, the big distinguishing factor between these two guys is that Mosley had real KO power at his proper weight class, and even above his weight class. Like, Mosley was a little guy able to hurt 147, 154 pounders. So, I don't know where Shawn goes from here. I do agree that the good thing about him is that he's no easy fight for any man at 147. And that's going to be how he keeps making his name and keeps, at least being able to get paid and be respected in the sport. But in terms of his style, it's really hard for me to admire his style of fighting. I don't think that guy yesterday should be able to go 12 rounds with him. I think most people believe that that's a real flaw. And I'm not too sure what his next fight will be. I know he's pushing for the Porter rematch, but I'm not sure how many people are interested in that. I'm personally not. I'm actually way more looking forward to seeing how Errol Spence looks with Lamont Peterson. I think Peterson's a proper test for Spence that will help him highlight how talented he is. And that's my call right there. I don't want to go on and on. There's so many other things we could talk about.
KM Star, pleasure as always. You the mans. Let's go out to Alabama. Make Alabama great again. What up, Ernest?
Nothing, man. Bomb Squad, Native Son represented last night. The question is, who's next? A lot of people didn't hear what Shelly Finkel said at the press conference last night. I listened to the entire press conference. Shelly Finkel said, while you may get 80,000 in England, you get more people, but the money is in Vegas. So I think that this is just my wild prediction. I think that AJ Deontay fight is going to be in Vegas, where the money is going to be. It won't be next. I think Deontay needs to just stay busy. February, early March fight. And if AJ's just going to keep hiding and hiding, then go after 49-0. I mean, eventually, AJ's going to be on the platter. But I want Deontay to stay busy. And I just want him to be the native son that represents maybe Dominic Brazil in the ATL match. Maybe Dylan White. But I think the AJ fight, according to Shelly Finkel, the money is in Vegas while the people may be in London. That's all I got, guys.
All right, Ernest. Thanks for calling in. Duck, duck, goose. Where do we land? Gabe in Salt Lake City. Talk to me.
Yo, what's going on, TBV? Long time no speak, but you know what? I have to agree with everybody. Deontay, you know, he looked great. He looked like the next great American heavyweight we've been waiting for. That probably should have already been here. You know, he's what, 30 now, close to 30, right? Is that right? What his age is?
Deontay?
All right. Yeah, how old is Deontay?
31 or 32?
32.
Okay. You know, he's one person I felt that if he would have stayed with Golden Boy with that whole, you know, when that whole split with Richard Schaefer, he probably would have really benefited from it. You know, we never seen Oscar really promote a, you know, African-American boxer, but I think if Deontay would have stayed with Golden Boy, it probably would have really helped his career, and that AJ fight would have been happening now. And that's just my opinion. But I have to think what Jim Gray thought as well about Bermane Stiverne. You know, like that guy was like what, 40 pounds overweight from his last fight. Just looked horrible. And then I know you guys have been Matt's been saying, you know, AJ is the one who demands the fight. AJ's the one who, when he says the fight happens, it's going to happen. I agree with Matt. And you guys are saying, who's the bigger star? You know, is it AJ or Canelo? Like one of your last couple of shows, if you were walking down the streets, like here in the U.S., if you asked someone if they knew who Canelo was, probably the person's going to say yes. If you asked them about AJ, they would say no. Yeah, that is very true. But in the UK, if you ask somebody if they know who Canelo is, I'm pretty sure more than the casual fan or more than the hardcore fan will know who Canelo is in the UK. Was able to draw, I think, a little bit better than AJ worldwide. I know that was a topic on the last time. Matt, also, not Matt, Ness, don't you guys train at the same gym that Glenn Tapia trains at?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, I've heard a lot of like other boxing journalists, whatever podcasters, you know, they're saying like Tapia needs to hang it up. Like any promoter that works with them, you know, they should be like ashamed of themselves. You know, I know you train with them. Like, do you think it's time for him to hang it up? Do you feel that same way? Can I, you know, I just want to ask
I don't.
you,
I wouldn't say hang it up simply because he's only 26. But he could take some time off. He needs to regroup.
Okay.
He needs to regroup, and he needs to not fight on that level. You know, he wasn't given that A-side tune-up when he lost to Kirkland. He was thrown in another tough fight, and then he lost, and he's just thrown in tough fights. He needs to be brought back up. I don't know, man, it can't be none of those names, right? He needs to rebuild. You got to rebuild.
So it was just like starting from square one. Then
not square one.
His whole career, I guess.
Not square one. But you take them back as far as they took Victor Ortiz. You got to take them back as far as no. Yes. Take them as far as they took Victor Ortiz and as far back as they regressed Peter Quillen. You know, names like Saul Roman are what Victor Ortiz is fighting now. It's got to be at that level because you need to rebuild him. He's young. So speaking retirement, that's just some bully, bully fans, bullying fans. But because he's
I wouldn't say that. I would say
too young.
There is some people that are genuinely worried about people's health in the sport. Glenn Tapia had a bunch of punishment, and we don't want anything like a Pritchard Colon because Pritchard Colon was a young guy too, and he is forever changed.
Yeah, but Pritchard Colon it's not this situation. Like saying young and this is two different things. All I'm saying is because of his youth, he can still take time off and come back, or he can take time off, come back, regressed is all I'm saying. But yeah, Gabe, thanks for calling in, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, hold on.
Yep.
Yo. I was just wondering, can you guys just comment also on the Wilder thing? Like, do you think he needs another promoter? Do you think he needs a promoter right now to really elevate him to that next
it's too
level
late.
of stardom?
It's too late. No other promoter is gonna do anything more than he's already the other biggest guy in that division. Like the fight is already promoted. It's just a matter of about when and where. It's too late. No, Eddie Hearn isn't gonna change that. Just like I don't see Eddie Hearn changing. What has he done for Daniel?
And I don't think a Bob Arum helps out Wilder's profile in the U.S. I don't think an Oscar does. I don't think Eddie Hearn does because Eddie Hearn doesn't have the clout in the U.S. like he does in the U.K.
You don't think Eddie would help his name out in the UK if that is where
that's not what I'm talking about.
Happen?
Wilder needs to be a star in the U.S. He doesn't being a star in the UK doesn't matter. He needs to go in there and beat AJ, become a boxing star, then come back to the U.S. and be a star here.
Well, man, he's saying that because the fight is going to happen there. But let me ask you, Gabe. Eddie Hearn was dealing with Luis Ortiz for a 3-fight deal. What the fuck did he do for Luis Ortiz in the UK?
Yeah,
his name didn't.
He gave him a bunch of bums.
His name didn't raise.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, Eddie Hearn is going to shelf Deontay because he knows that the same way he did to Lewis. He's going to give him dudes that no one cares to see because that would only put you on a path, clear his cash cow. But we got to move on. We are going to get to our New York correspondent who was ripping it up out there in the Barclays Center, Adam Spielberg. Talk to us, brother.
What up, Nat? What's up, Ness?
What up, Adam?
All right, so basically, at the fight last night, Boxing Voice was in the house, talked to just about everybody that was in the arena. So I got a pretty good picture of what's going to happen in the heavyweight division in terms of Deontay, his mandatories, King Kong Ortiz, and you're going to be able to see those interviews up on the Boxing Voice YouTube channel. We're going to have that up soon. So basically, it's like this. Luis Ortiz was there last night. I was able to speak to him. I also spoke to Mauricio Suleiman and was asking him about his status for a potential opponent as Deontay. There's a good shot Luis Ortiz will be able to, if he's able to stay clean and submit the proper paperwork, will be able to be cleared for to fight Deontay in the spring. Deontay is not going to fight Brazil next, from what I heard, because I was able to speak to Prince Charles Martin. And Charles Martin told me that he was told that he was supposed to be fighting Brazil next. Deontay and Joshua is not. This is not going to happen next. So I believe, being that Ortiz was there and hearing what I did from Mauricio Suleiman, and the interviews will be up on the YouTube channel, I think we may be seeing Luis Ortiz and Deontay in the spring. And I think we're also going to see Brazil fight Charles Martin also in the spring. Deontay, because he fulfilled his mandatory last night and got in the good graces of the WBC, won't have to make another mandatory defense in a long time, probably up to a year's worth. So just getting an idea of the landscape, I think that's the way it's going to be going forward. I don't know if if you guys are good with that or if the fans are happy with that, but it looks like it may be drifting in that way.
I wonder if there's still interest in that Ortiz fight. I mean, I definitely want that one.
Yeah, and exactly. And Mauricio Suleiman was definitely of the opinion that he wants to give Luis Ortiz a fair shake. And if he's able to test clean and provide the proper paperwork in the next quarter, of the first quarter of 2018, and speaking to Deontay, they're not against that fight, and his team are not against that fight if he's able to provide clean paperwork. I also did an interview with Lou DiBella that we're going to have up on our YouTube channel, where he basically destroys. There's no way they're going out there to fight Dillian White. And people are saying, if Deontay had a real promoter in Golden Boy, let me tell you something. Lou was going to bat for Deontay after that fight. And, again, you'll see it firsthand. So bottom line is they're not going to take that fight right away, and they're open for a Luis Ortiz fight if he's able to come through clean and be cleared by the WBC.
Well, I mean, I guess this falls right into what Shawn was saying. This is the WBC again being nice, because I'm pretty sure, Matt, based on our conversation about Luis Ortiz and the word you used was repeat offender, you're not going to be happy to hear that the WBC is again.
No, I'm not happy.
Saying that if he comes out clean in a third set of testing, that he would be allowed to fight for the.
It doesn't matter if he tests clean right now. He already popped. He already popped dirty. Like, that's the test that mattered. And if the A sample and the B sample were both positive, then it doesn't matter how many tests he takes afterwards. He already popped. And he did not disclose his medication information to the WBC and the VADA program. So therefore, he has no excuse for a retroactive TUE. If anything, that's just a sign that the VADA program is still bullshit and still a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a PR stunt.
Ethically, Matt is correct. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, but last night Deontay drew about close to 11,000 at the Barclays, fighting a replacement opponent, somebody who he beat already. And the atmosphere was electric last night. Watching Deontay and the crowd reaction after that first round knockout was unbelievable. And again, you're talking about ethics, and you're right about that, Matt. But the bottom line is, if we have a Deontay Luis Ortiz fight in the first quarter of 2018 at the Barclays Center in New York City, it's going to draw close to a sellout. It's going to draw close to 16,000. People are going to want to watch. Deontay, with his first round knockout last night, has just brought a lot more to the table in his negotiations against Joshua. If he's able to knock out Luis Ortiz, being with the PED questions or not, a lot of casual fans don't care. They want to see Deontay in there against a solid opponent. If Deontay is able to knock out Luis Ortiz, whether or not these PED questions are asked or not, and again, you're right, Matt, from an ethical standpoint, but if he's able to lay him out, then he's bringing more and more to the negotiation table for a future Joshua matchup. The problem is right now, the financial situation, there's too much on the Joshua side. It's like right now it's maybe like what, 70-30 Joshua, 75-25 Joshua, the financial split. Deontay's got to bring a little bit more to the table. He's able to knock out Luis Ortiz, on Showtime in an impressive fashion. Again, that's going to be beneficial for Deontay's team to make that fight financially viable.
I mean, Eddie Hearn did come on the show and say that if he fought Dillian White, there would be a 10% increase in his guaranteed pay, which would equal $5 million, which would mean that his total guaranteed pay, if Wilder had fought White and fights Joshua, would be $50 million guaranteed. I don't know if Ortiz does that.
I think that if that was in contractual in writing, that Deontay got $5 million to fight Dillian White, if that was on paper, I think he would take that fight. But something tells me that Eddie Hearn can't put that $5 million guarantee on paper. And second, I think they also want to guarantee, if he's going to fight Dillian White, if he's going to go over to the UK, and if he fights Dillian, if he fights Dillian White, then they want that assurance that they're going to get that fight within 2018.
You don't think that the Wilder camp, Lou DiBella, Al Heyman should make a stronger negotiation move towards that and pressure Eddie Hearn through the media, through the public as well, to get that option in there? Because I think that is still the best route, is the Dillian White with a guarantee of AJ.
I agree with you. I think that if you were able to put the two on the same card, and you know what, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, whatever, AJ would get the A side of the main event, and Deontay would be a co-main event. So if you put the both heavyweights on the same card together in the UK in front of an audience of 80,000 people, and you made, let's say, the main event Anthony Joshua versus, let's say, Big Baby Miller, right? Because you know what? If Big Baby Miller wins Saturday night at the Nassau Coliseum, and he likes Big Baby Miller a lot, he may be grooming him for a potential opponent for Anthony Joshua. So if you made a card where it's Anthony Joshua, Big Baby Miller, and it's Deontay Wilder versus Dillian White, and Deontay was guaranteed $5 million. It was a pay-per-view over in the UK. Maybe that card does sell, and also putting the two on the same card maybe build more of the casual interest. So eventually you can't put a fight like that on pay-per-view. I like to see that, to be honest with you. So I mean that's still something open, but something to keep your eyes out for next weekend is Big Baby Miller fighting on that Matchroom card, and if he is victorious, seeing him being groomed for a potential opponent for AJ in 2018.
Definitely, man. It's going to be interesting, man. I can't believe the year that we're getting. It seems like 2018 is going to have to follow suit. Listen, Adam, thanks for all the great work. Thanks for the call. We're going to go out to Michael right here on Skype with you. What's going on, brother?
Hey, guys. Official Joshua Protector on the line today.
Uh-oh. I love that you at least came out and said it, so I'm not even going to interrupt your call.
Yeah, so let's get cracking. So first off, give props to Wilder. He did what he had to do. He knocked out Stiverne, was what was expected. So give him props for that. Does that improve his status, or does it improve his value or worth? I don't think so. Just because of who he fought. It's not his fault. It's his mandatory, so he had to do it. He did the job, but I don't think it increased his worth. For him, from listening to the last caller, if that's true, what he's saying about, he could be fighting, what's his name, Ortiz in the spring or something like that. I think that's a joke. The WBC is a joke, and I would not be happy with that fight. Just because if you're a drug cheat and he's failed more than once, he should be banned. And not just like, okay, you can come back in a few months' time. That sounds a little bit dodgy to me, so I wouldn't be happy with that fight. And Wilder, on principle, shouldn't take that fight. I think that he should go the White route. If he demolishes White, then that would increase his value for the Joshua fight. I say that, and that's what I personally think that should happen. I think the roadblock of White, and then after the roadblock of White, then Joshua, Wilder should happen in the summer. That's what I personally think should happen. And I don't see no reason why Wilder should take it. He's getting $5 million. He got paid $1.4 million to fight Stiverne, and he's getting nearly triple that. I don't see the problem of taking that White fight. It's simple. He should have looked at the fight last week and think, you know what, this is the easiest pay they're ever going to get. Increase my profile. I don't see the issue with it. So that's my take on that. And one more thing, Porter and what's his name, Granados. Porter, I give props to Granados because he performed better than what I thought it would be. First time I've seen him fight. But Porter uses his head too much. He uses his head way too much in his fights. And it did put me off watching him in that fight, to be honest with you, because it was just too much. And I think he should use boxing skills a little bit more and not use his head as much as he does in his fights. That's all I've got to say. Joshua beats Wilder. That's my prediction. Carry on with the great show.
Michael, man, thanks for calling in. Truly appreciate the call. We're going to go out to GT Kid in Atlanta. GT.
That was an accident. I accidentally muted him. My bad.
Hey, this is Yo.
What's up, brother?
Yes. Yeah, man, real quick, man. Let me hop on. That Shawn Porter fight was hard to watch, man. It's hard to watch Porter. But I don't even want to burn on that. I don't know why people are so excited about Deontay Wilder. Stiverne's out of shape. He hasn't had a major fight in, a major fight against a notable opponent in a couple of years. And you didn't really throw any punches. He got hit with a shot, and we all know that Deontay's got power. But, if you're a hardcore fan, I just feel like you're not going to be impressed by Wilder. His, that windmilling, it's, it's a joke, right? But it's just not, that's not high level boxing, and I understand he does that when he has his opponents hurt, but still, that's how he tears his bicep up and breaks his knuckles and all this other stuff. AJ is a much better boxer. AJ is a much better combination puncher. And I just feel like, AJ takes care of Wilder in maybe 6 or 7 rounds. Wilder can't box with people his size. I keep telling people this and they don't believe me. He looked terrible against Gerald Washington. And Gerald Washington won three of those rounds clearly, maybe 4, depending on who's judging it. But I think 2 of the judges gave 3 rounds to Washington before the knockout came in the 5th. So I think it's a good weekend for boxing, though. That Bivol, I haven't heard anybody talking about that fight, but it was quick, too. I want to see him fight again. He looked good, looked sharp. So, it's going to be a good 2018. We're going to get AJ Wilder, and we're going to get Thurman Porter probably. We're going to get Thurman Spence. We might get GGG Canelo, too. So things are looking up, man. That's all I got, fellas.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. We're going out to Sam in Norwalk. Sam, Connecticut. 1-631. You're up.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
First time caller?
Nah, I've called before.
What's your name?
I've spoken to you guys a couple times.
What's your name, brother?
John.
John, where you calling in from?
John. Long Island, New York.
All right, brother John in Long Island. What's going on?
Yo, man. Yes, sir. Yo, man, I was just going to say, just wanted to comment on it. It's really getting tiring watching this guy, man, Shawn Porter. He's like, it's like hard to watch. What a dirty, disgusting style, man. That shit is just bullshit. And I think he should fight Danny Garcia because he's been talking a lot of smack about Garcia. I think that Garcia will just knock him out clean and end the whole bullshit with Porter. And I was just thinking about like Deontay Wilder also, how like the whole like pound for pound list, how all these guys who are on the pound for pound list also haven't fought a lot of big names, but for some reason these guys are on the pound for pound list and not Deontay Wilder, when like Deontay Wilder knocked out everybody that he ever fought. And I feel like he's gonna run the heavyweight division for quite a while because like I don't see anybody beating him. I think he knocks out Joshua, and that'll probably be his toughest fight. But and then like there isn't anybody else. I don't know, man. These freaking big heavyweights, man. It's a weird thing that I've been thinking about. How would the older heavyweights do up against these newer heavyweights when they're just so huge? Hello?
Yep.
Hello?
We're here.
Yeah, man. Like I'm just always feeling like how people always like, yeah, like Mike Tyson will destroy these guys and all these things, but like people don't think about how like Mike Tyson is 5'10" and like Deontay Wilder is like 6'6", and like like back in the day when Mike Tyson was in his prime, even he was having trouble with guys. Who is this guy? Somebody named Tillis. He couldn't even knock out this guy Tillis, and people act like he would destroy Deontay Wilder. I don't know about that. Yeah, but anyways, all right, guys.
All right, brother. Well, John, thanks for calling in. I mean, look, man. The reason I'm not giving you too much feedback on that, John, is because you know that I'm considered the resident Deontay Wilder lover. I mean, anytime I'm picking a guy who's surefire to win, I'm somehow biased. I don't know, you know. But let's get to Ali and Dago.
Ali Kumbaya, Ali Kumbaya. Thank God that niggas seen another day.
What's up, Boxing Voice? Look, man, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. Wilder knocks out Joshua, and this is something a lot of people got to understand, man. Like, people always talk about how Wilder doesn't have this skills, this. Everybody has some flaw, but people fail to realize how God-gifted Wilder is with his punching power. Like, me personally, I feel punching power-wise, Wilder could hang in any era. I'm not saying he would beat everybody in every area, but I'm saying punching power-wise, he's one of the biggest punchers in the heavyweight division in the history, in my personal opinion. I'm not saying he is, but he's one of them. You know, like, I really don't think people understand that he can end it at any time. Like everybody's talking about, oh, this guy outbox him, he outbox him, but it's about how long can you do that? Because he actually can box better than what people give him credit for, though. I would say that. You know what I'm saying? He's not the best boxer, we know that, but I do think he has more skills than what people give him. You know what I'm saying? But that's my call, man. Deontay Wilder, Bomb Squad, baby.
All right. Well, Ali, thanks for calling in, brother. Let me get to...
It's Baltimore, gentlemen. The gods will not save you.
Yeah. Y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Damn, sound like I'm in water. Sound like I'm in water for some reason. Hey, I think Anthony Joshua don't want none of this. I think Anthony Joshua don't want none because I think Tackhead and Stiverne is the same nigga. They just from different places. And you see how Anthony Joshua struggle with Tackhead, and I think Wilder take out Tackhead the same way he did Stiverne. I think he'll take him out the same way, man. It's just different levels, man. He got that, you know. I just think he a better people. His jab and his range is underestimated. People underestimate his range, how he his range and his jab. He got a very educated jab now, and he takes his time. He takes his time more than what people give him credit. He takes his time, and and his range is real good, and his speed and his power. He's not the best boxer, but you add his speed with his power, his jab and his range. That's a dangerous combination right there. That's a very sorry about that. That's a very dangerous combination. And but a lot of people boxing people that know boxing know that that's a very dangerous combination. But another thing, that Porter, that has to be. He make Madonna look like Sugar Ray Robinson, man. The way he fight, man. He make Madonna look like Sugar Ray Robinson. That's one of the worst boxing styles I ever seen in my whole life, man.
But it's
That's
effective.
one of the worst boxing styles. You think so?
He rich.
You go around breaking your own hand. I don't know if he rich, man.
He rich, and he one of the top 5 welterweights in the world.
You think so?
What you mean? You think so? Name 5 other welterweights.
Oh, I can do that.
Go ahead.
Activator Thurman. Danny Garcia.
So Danny Garcia, who only beat Malignaggi and Robert Guerrero but lost to Thurman, is better than Porter? He beats Porter?
I think he's a better. You said better. You said about it a better boxer.
No. I didn't say better boxer. I said name 5. I said Shawn Porter's a top 5 heavy welterweight. You said no. You said you can name 5 others. So you can't put Danny when he coming off a loss and he ain't got no other credible win at welterweight. Porter's beating real welterweights.
All right, you think Porter a real good boxer, man?
I don't think that. Listen to me. Listen to me. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I didn't say I think he's a real good boxer. I'm saying he's a top 5 welterweight.
It may have something to do with the other welterweights because have to do.
Then talk to the division.
What does that mean?
If you don't like his style, talk to the division. They should beat him and make him irrelevant. But guess what? They not. They running from him.
But hold on, I want to three.
You bugging?
I'm bugging. Who's calling out Shawn Porter?
Hey, you know who want to fight him, man?
Who?
You know who want to fight him, man. You don't want.
Listen.
Man. You know
no. I'm not gonna ask you who one more time because A, the bell rang, and B, you obviously don't want to answer. Peace. 817. Thanks for calling in. Who's this? 817. You're live. First time caller.
Yeah. This is Paul speaking. How you doing, guys?
Hi, Paul. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
All right, talk to us, brother.
Yeah, I watched the fight yesterday. I think Porter is the top 5. I just think his style is just like someone who plays football, kind of very rough. Although I think he met his match yesterday because that Hispanic guy was very rugged too. That guy took a lot of shots, but he actually thought that the referee was stopping the guy too much, especially at the very end of the fight, like the 9th, 10th, 11th round. The referee was giving Porter more time to breathe, so to say, because he was the bigger guy or the marquee guy, so to say. So, but I think Porter is top 5. I think he's fought pretty much all the best guys except for Errol Spence. He's fought Calbrook. It's fought Thurman, right? It's not fought Garcia yet. I don't think Garcia is more eye drop. I think Garcia has a very strong left hook, but that's about it. I think it's better at 140 than 147. And that's just my opinion on that. On the Wilder fight, what kind of pisses me off is that I don't think people are objective about what Wilder brings to the table. Number one, I think Wilder has a better jab than AJ. I think Wilder also has a better left hook than AJ. I think Wilder has a better right hand than AJ. I think Wilder is more mobile than AJ. I think Wilder moves his head better than AJ. I think Wilder has better stamina than AJ. I think the only thing that AJ does better is AJ has a better uppercut, and AJ looks fundamentally better. He's more compact fundamentally. So when I look at all the tools, X and O's, I think Wilder has more tools. Now, it doesn't look good with the tools, but it's effective with the tools. And I think, like Wilder says, better to be the part than look the part. So every time I see all these fans online, whether it's AJ fans or Wilder fans, or just these fanatics who just want to hate, they have no jobs online, I feel like they're not objective about the tools. Let's look at the tools. I don't think anybody with a common sense would say AJ has a better jab than Wilder. No. I don't think anyone would say AJ has a better right hand. No. I don't think anyone would say AJ moves better than Wilder. No. I don't think anyone would say AJ has better stamina than Wilder. No. So what is the basis for why AJ beats Wilder? Because he looks like a better boxer. Looking is not what matters here, but your tools. Does that make sense, guys?
I mean, better tools in your eyes, brother. But I mean, next year proves that. Next year proves it. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what we want. I think they should just fight. Enough with the excuses. Right? VJ needs 3 more fights. Let him come out and man up and stop using decoys, Johnny Nelson at the end, speaking from the man.
Paul, that was the bell. Thank you for coming out swinging, brother. We appreciate it. Hope to hear you back around here, man. We love first-time callers and even love repeat callers. I was going to say offender just to trigger Matt, but whatever. 414, you're up. Matt's over here yawning. You going to sleep, you little baby?
What's going on, man? This Gerald, man, from Milwaukee, man. I just wanted to chime in, dog, on this Wilder situation in Porter, man. Let me say this about Porter real quick, man. Porter is not a boxer. I don't understand what none of these cats is talking about. Porter is a brawler. Let Porter be a brawler. Porter gonna get dealt with by Spence. Just know that. Let Porter try to keep Thurman in the ring and all of that, but Porter is eventually going to get dealt with by Spence. Now, back to Wilder, man. That's my dog, man. Wilder is the best heavyweight since Tyson Ali. I think Wilder whoops Tyson. Right now, Joshua is ducking Wilder. I mean, I don't want to say him specifically, but I know it's like his people. I think if they put the pressure on Joshua, that Joshua will fight Wilder, but we got to start putting the pressure on Joshua like we put the pressure on Canelo to fight Triple G, like we put the pressure on Lomachenko to fight Rigondeaux. See, ain't nobody putting the pressure on Joshua. But after Saturday night, him calling out Joshua on live TV, that's some pressure. And then, I'll give Joshua one more fight. I say, you and Wilder have one more fight first quarter next year, but that Joshua Wilder fight needs to happen by my birthday next year, August 2018. If it don't happen then, Joshua is labeled a ducker forever. You know?
Forever. Gerald, thanks for calling in, my friend. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel because we do many spontaneous shows. We're going to head on out to Skype. We're going to Daniel. Talk to me.
Yeah, hi, fellas. Yeah, so great show.
Call me now.
Great
Sorry
show.
about that, Daniel. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, so I live in Toronto, but I'm from the UK. So, I wouldn't say I'm a protector.
Anyone who starts their call saying, I won't say I'm a protector, we automatically are labeling you a protector. I mean,
no, hear me out, though. Hear me out. So I have been following Joshua's career all the way before the Olympics, and I'm very proud of what he's achieved. But credit where credit's due, Wilder did his thing last night. At the end of the day, like what Matt said, all you can ask of him is for him to show that guy didn't belong in the ring, and that's exactly what he did. So credit to Wilder. I respect him as well because I like his interviews. I like the way he talks about just little things like police brutality, little things like that. It shows he represents his people, So there's something else that I wanted to mention. I heard that Matt said a couple of times, which I think is sort of like misrepresenting what Eddie Hearn said. So when he said that Wilder will get a 10% pay rise, he didn't say Wilder is going to make $50 million for the fight. That's a misrepresentation. What he said was he's going to get a 10% increase in the cut. So he said if Wilder was going to get 25% of the pot, right? That means that if he takes the Dillian White fight, is going to get from 25% to 35%, and that automatically, out of a 50 million total pot for both fighters, that's a 5 million increase. That doesn't mean that Wilder's getting 50 million for the fight. So
that's how you interpreting it. Maybe you are also interpreting it that way. Like you are interpreting it one way, I am interpreting it another way. You have no facts to back up that it's your way, and I really have no facts to say that's my way. We just have Eddie Hearn's exact words, and they could mean both things.
Let me tell you what the fact is. The fact is his words in the interview. So
I was there because I asked him the question. So
I listened to the interview. That's what he said.
I was there.
Words that came out of his mouth.
Yeah,
So,
he said a 10% increase, which was $5 million. He said, hold on, very quickly.
It's not correct. It's not factual. It's not factual.
What you're stating is not factual. What you are stating is not factual.
Mathematics.
What you are stating is not factual. Do you understand that?
No, listen. I have. Do you want me to get the calculator out? Get your calculator.
No. Listen to me. I'm gonna break it down for you. Hold on. I'm gonna break it down for you very fast. All he said was he will get a 10% increase, which would mean $5 million. Those were his exact words, and that's all he said. That is not relating. Hold on, very quickly. Let me finish my statement. That is not relating to whether it's the pot. But hold on. Let me finish, caller. I know you're an AJ protector.
Imagine a 50 million total pot.
You get amped up, and you can't let me finish my statement. It's okay.
Matt, but you're also not letting him finish, and I've told you how it works on Skype. He really can't hear you.
I understand that, but I know they can hear me over him, and I'm going to state that he's not letting me finish my statement. It's okay.
I know you're argumentative, and that's great for the show. But we have to state.
No, I'm not argumentative. I'm clearly stating
it's a 50 million. Imagine a 50 million total pot, right?
I understand your point. I understand your point. I understand your point.
Dillian White.
I understand math. I'm not stupid.
In the share of the pot. So if it's going to be a 75-25, if he fights Wilder, is now going to be a 65-35, and that 10% increase is a 10% of the total pot, which is.
But he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. You can keep saying it over and over again, but he did not say those words. He didn't.
Go back and listen to it then.
I was there. What do you mean go back and listen to it? I was there. I was the one that interviewed him.
If you listen to it and you see that I'm right, then just don't say it again on the show because it's not.
No, I will keep saying it again because he did not clarify it. You are trying to clarify it for him and trying to clean it up.
Matt, I don't think you're listening to what he's saying.
No, I understand what he's saying, but Eddie's exact words. Hold on, let me finish.
No, repeat what he said.
He's saying that when Eddie Hearn talks about the 10%, that is about the total pot of the fight, not Wilder's individual purse being increased by 10%. I understand.
Also, listen to me. He also is stating that in the interview, Eddie uses the words 50 million total pot.
He does not use those words.
Well, then he's asking you to go back and fucking listen. But
I've listened to it multiple times. Again, Ness, I don't know why you're freaking out. Let me address him. I don't know why you're freaking out.
Every time he tells you to listen, you say, I lived it.
And I've listened to it multiple times. It was a great interview. I'm definitely going to go back and listen to it. But again, his exact words were a 10% increase, which would mean $5 million. He never said the total pot was $50 million. He never said these words.
Daniel,
yes.
Clip it, baby. All you could do is clip it for a guy like this.
Yeah, I will do. Listen, Matt.
Do it. Prove me wrong.
This is great for the show, but at the end of the day, you still got to listen to what other people are saying. Then go back, listen to the interview again, and all I'm asking, if that's what he said, then don't misrepresent him time and time again. Because if you're saying Wilder's going to get 50 million, Eddie Hearn is not stupid. If Wilder gets 50 million, what's Joshua going to get then?
A shit ton.
How much money do you think is in this fight?
Exactly? A shit ton. I think a lot's in this fight. He got $21 million guaranteed for Takum. What are you talking about?
So what you're saying is
you can make $100 million guaranteed? Come on, man.
Wilder is going to go from 1 point something million to 50 million?
Takum made $5.5 million. What are you talking about?
That doesn't make any sense. Just listen.
Takum made $5.5 million. What are you talking about?
I'll send it to you. No problem.
You can go ahead, Daniel.
Do it again on the show. That's all.
That's fine.
Best thing to do, Daniel, really is. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Thanks,
over and over again. But again, what I know of the interview, because I was there, I interviewed him, and I've heard it multiple times. Eddie Hearn never said the pot was $50 million. He never addressed whether that 10% was talking about.
That sounds familiar. It sounds. I remember him saying something like, I want to believe I remember him saying something like, can you imagine a pot 50 million for the two? I remember him starting like that. But he'll clip it. If he's wrong, he won't clip it. We'll never hear Daniel again.
Exactly.
But like he said, once he clips,
and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just don't think I'm wrong. And again, if what I say is true, that all he said was about the 10% and $5 million.
I mean, you both have very.
Daniel could absolutely be right, but we just don't know.
You both have very solid arguments, right?
100%.
In the sense that
he could absolutely be right.
Man, Jesus, this kid is triggered. In the sense that you feel the fight is big enough to deem $50 million purses, and in the sense that he feels it's absurd for Wilder, who's never received 5 or 10 million, to jump from 1 to 50. Both,
but I would also. Sorry.
I was just gonna end saying both sound, like legitimate arguments.
And I would say very quickly, the second you fight a Wilder or not Wilder, Joshua, your pay increases drastically. Takam is proof of that. Everyone else is proof of that. When you're talking about a mandatory fight making a guarantee of $20-something million, that's Mayweather guarantees. Mayweather was guaranteed $36 million, $32 million for a Showtime run. Like,
very true.
Like, we're talking about Mayweather numbers now. We have to start thinking about that Joshua has reached that level. Because you also have to think about this. It's not just the UK pay-per-view on Sky. It's all about the international distribution. There's so many other things. Merchandise. He is making boatloads of money. There is so much revenue in this guy and in this fight with Wilder.
That's what I'm saying. You both have solid arguments. His argument about it being, far-fetched because of the pay increase, I see that. Like, is there really $150 million fight here? Like, is Joshua going to make 100 and Wilder going to make 50? I don't know. But I do know that the time has come for us to say our goodbyes. And you guys have been wonderful. I just wish that everyone would have hit that thumbs up when they stopped here to just check that show. I mean, if everyone just hits that thumbs up, oh my God, imagine how big we could be, Matt. Imagine how big we could be.
And very quickly, if you want to find any sources on that 21 million or 22 million guarantee, I believe Forbes had an article. I believe Sky Sports even had an article. So if you don't believe me, and if you like Daniel, you can just Google it. That's the beauty of the internet.
Matt, we're going to have to push that overtime back. We're 4 minutes late. It's time for overtime, ladies and gentlemen. So join us on patreon.com/TheBoxingVoice. Final thoughts, I guess, will be there because we're late. And
we'll start at what? 10 p.m. Eastern?
Are we really going to wait? Why not just go now?
I have to schedule. I mean, we have to stop right now. And I'm fine. I'm Matt Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. And if you don't know where it is, it's right there.
I was just really doing the robot right there. I wonder if that showed.
Wherever it is, right here. Matthew Hunter at Mixed Combat News. You can find me right there. Peace.
Yeah. I changed mine. You see, mine's right here. It says IG, but it's always the same.
Yo, why didn't you put my IG on there? Like what?
Because I thought you was still a Twitter guy. You always arguing with people on Twitter, so I left you there.
Oh, if you want to argue with me, definitely go on Twitter.
I don't do that. I don't do that funny shit. I done told you, boy, Deontay came out with 50 like many men.
I get triggered.
Many men wish death upon me. I don't no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Whatever. I'm out. Cut it.